way, unbelievable people are coming. A lot of people that are illegal are great people. Just let's get it straight. They don't want to give it straight because the press are liars. They're terrible people. But here's an idea. So Mexico is sending lots of people. And by the way, they're coming from all over the world, including...
Video was done 10 years ago, y'all. When you're watching this, 10 years ago it was done. This is in October 21st, 2015. All this time. Trust the plan. You're gonna love this shit.
The Middle East. Why not? Come in. Come on in. We're stupid. We'll take care of you. We'll pay. Get sick. We'll take care of your hospitalization. What kind of a plan do you want? Oh, Don, you're a little controversial. You're talking about illegal immigration. I said it's illegal.
That there are, for immigrants on the whole,
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it out. Go ahead. The premiums are going through the roof. The deductibles, frankly, you have to get hit with a Komatsu tractor in order to use them. They're so high. We just spent $1 million building a soccer field, okay? A soccer field for our prisoners that happen to be in Guantanamo, okay? I don't like that. What do you need $1 million for? Level out the surface, let them play. The Iranians are great negotiators. The Persians are great negotiators. And we have people that are babies. It's like a chess player, grandmaster, playing against a checkers child. No, that's what it is. We give them, think of it, a nuclear scientist, and they won't give us our hostages back. It's so insane. President Obama, Secretary Kerry, I highly think you should read this book quickly. Quickly! We have very stupid people in our country negotiating for us, and we have leaders that don't know what they're doing. You know, Jeb Bush, one of my opponents, I noticed he's not doing very well in the polls. I've actually known. And by the way, they said I won the debate. Is that nice? Is that nice? Right? The polls came out and said I won. And the media, look at all those people back there. Scavengers. They're like scavengers. They'll probably say the crowds were about equal. Oh, they were equal. But that's the way they are, very dishonest. CNN is terrible. CNN. You're with CNN? Are you with CNN? You people do not cover us accurately at all. So they have a few protesters outside, and they have thousands of people, and the first question from CNN is about protesters. So what I'm going to do is span out. Span out. Show them the crowd, press. Show them the crowd. Show them the crowd. Look, they're not turning the cameras. They don't even turn the cameras. They don't even turn the cameras because you know what? They're very dishonest people. Because you know what they do? They have the camera, live television, on my face the entire amount. My wife goes, I go home. Were there any people there tonight, darling? They don't see. They never show the crowds. Frankly, I don't even think they give a damn about education, half of them. And I'm sure some maybe do.
Want to use that word in this form?
I will. Because people want to hear the truth, Frank. I watch you all the time. They want to hear the truth.
Correct.
We have to be able to express ourselves.
But referring to people as rapists, referring to John McCain, a war hero, 5.5 years as a POW, and you call him a dummy. Is that appropriate in running for president?
Okay, you got to let me speak, though, Frank, because you interrupt all the time, okay? So, no, I know him too well. That's the problem.
In the center of the stage tonight, businessman Donald Trump.
I would never give up my microphone. I thought that was disgusting. That showed such weakness. The way he was taken away by two young women. The microphone, they just took the whole place over. That will never happen with me. I don't know if I'll do the fighting myself or if other people will.
Thank you.
But that was a disgrace. The way they took, I felt badly for him. But it showed that he's weak. You want to be what, vice president? Oh, now his question's no longer as good. He had great credibility until he said that. Now it's like, where did he come from? We need a leader that wrote The Art of the Deal. I said trade deals. Who would do better? I know, I'll tell you what, I know the greatest negotiators in the world. Some are horrible people, horrible human beings. Who cares? Some Wall Street guys, they're brutal, they're miserable. You wouldn't want to go out to dinner. They're terrible people. I love them. You know who's our primary representative right now? Carolyn Kennedy. You know how she got the job? 60 Minutes. She went to the White House. She said, I'd love to have a job. I have nothing to do. They said, how would you like to be the ambassador to Japan? She goes, really? You know why I say she's nice? Because my daughter Ivanka likes her. My daughter's so great. She's such a great person. My daughter likes her. She said, Daddy, she's such a nice person. I don't want a nice. I want to kill her. We're tired of the nice people. What do you need to spend $1 million? We just spent, it's a story today, $1 million on a soccer field. How do you spend $1 million doing the soccer field? You have a level piece of land. Throw them a ball, let them play soccer, if they have to play at all. See, you're not supposed to say that somebody graduated last or second to last in their class, because you're supposed to be, like Frank says, very nice. Folks, I want to make America great again. We want to get down to brass tacks. We don't want to listen to his stuff with being politically correct and everything has... We have a lot of work to do.
10 years ago, everybody wanted the wall. The Democrats, the Republicans, they couldn't get it. You know one of the reasons they couldn't get it? Environmental impact statements. Did you know that? There were toads. It's the most incredible thing.
NBC calls me, we'd like to see you. A couple of months ago, the head of NBC comes to see me. And the head of NBC's boss, I don't want to mention names because they're really good people. They're friends of mine, although I probably will never speak to them again either. First of all, Rand Paul shouldn't even be on this stage. He's number 11. He's got 1% in the polls. And how he got up here, there's far too many people. Anyway.
Would we not all be worried to have someone like that in charge of the nuclear arsenal?
Mr. Trump.
I never attacked him on his look. And believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. That I can tell you.
But Jake, I want to give Mr. Trump.
It's a massive plant, one of the biggest in the world. They're going to make all these cars, trucks, and parts. They're even making parts. It's so big, they'll make the parts, the trucks. And I actually gave them a good idea. Why don't we just let the illegals drive the cars and trucks right in through the border? They don't have to even, it's true. No, I gave them that. Save a lot of money. That'll be next. No, they'll be doing that next. So the Mexican government is not happy with me, to put it mildly. And again, I respect Mexico, but their leaders are too smart for our leaders because we have stupid leaders, okay? You mean it's not politically correct and yet everybody uses it? So you know what? Give me a different term. Give me a different term. What else would you like to say? Oh, you want me to say that? Okay. No, I'll use the word anchor baby. Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. He would give a sermon you never wanted to leave. Sometimes we have sermons, and every once in a while we think about leaving a little early, right, even though we're Christian.
And pledge to not run an independent campaign against that person. Again, we're looking for you to raise your hand now. Raise your hand now if you won't make that pledge tonight. Mr. Trump.
Who is Uma married to? One of the great sleazebags of our time. Anthony Weiner. Did you know that? She's married to Anthony Weiner. You know, the little bing, 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 bum, bum. I love you very much. I'm a very militaristic person, but you have to know when to use the military. I'm the only person up here that fought against going into Iraq.
Can I make a response to that?
Just excuse me 1 second,
Can
Rand,
I make
if you
a
don't mind,
response to
Rand.
that?
You know, you are on less, you do have your 1%.
But have you ever asked God for forgiveness?
I'm not sure I have. I just go and try and do a better job from there. I don't think so. I think if I do something wrong, I think I just try and make it right. I don't bring God into that picture. I don't. I could say absolutely, and everybody. I don't think in terms of that. I think in terms of let's go on and let's make it right. Let's say that Jeb Bush or Hillary or one of these politicians all talk, no action, all controlled by lobbyists and special interests and donors. People like me from previous months, okay? Total control. Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. You know what that is, right? We have heads being chopped off because they're Christian in the Middle East. We have borders where people are being killed all over. The world is cracking up, and they're worried about my tone. So what would President Trump do? So I don't have money. I don't have lobbyists. In fact, I've had in the last 2 weeks, because I've hired many of the lobbyists. That's true. I hire lobbyists. They're great. They're terrific people. They can do whatever the hell you want them to do, okay? It's true. I was a businessman. I got along with Clinton. I got along with everybody. Yeah. That was my job, to get along with people.
But the simple fact is...
Excuse me. 1 second.
No.
I didn't want to...
Donald, you cannot take...
More energy tonight. I like that. Look.
I was asked the question.
I didn't want... It was my obligation as a businessman to my family, to my company, to my employees, to get along with all politicians. I got along with all of them, and I did a damn good job in doing it. Go ahead.
So.
And the poll just came out, and I'm tied with Jeb Bush. And I said, oh, that's too bad. How can I be tied with this guy? He's terrible. He's terrible. Hillary Clinton was the worst Secretary of State in the history of our country. The worst. Our enemies are a disaster. Our friends, and they hate us more. So Uma is getting classified secrets. She's married to Anthony Weiner, who's a perv. No, he is.
Somewhere there we'll find a balance tonight.
So I would have dinner with my kids almost always, and I'm always available to my children. I could be in the middle of the biggest, most important deal. For instance, if Ivanka called me right now and say, bye-bye, Frank, you're a wonderful guy. I think it's unlikely, but if Jeb became president, when they say, Mr. President, it's very bad that Ford's building in Mexico. Oh, okay. We'll do something. Let me go to sleep first. We'll do something. We need somebody that can take our jobs back, Frank, because we're going to hell. Our country's going to hell. And Frank doesn't like the word hell, but we're going to hell. I beat the people from China. I win against China. You can win against China if you're smart. But our people don't have a clue. We give state dinners to the heads of China. I say, why are you doing state dinners for them? They're ripping us left and right. Just take them to McDonald's and go back to the negotiating table. Seriously. Well, I heard Hugh Hewitt, a nice man, he apologized because he actually said that we had a misunderstanding, and he said today that Donald Trump is maybe the best interview there is anywhere that he's ever done. Now, unless he was just saying that on CNN to be nice, but he did say that.
Oh, you're the best interview in America.
And we had a legitimate misunderstanding in terms of his pronunciation of a word, but I would say just... Well, I think it was. And he actually said that. Did you say that?
So radio makes an interesting thing.
Okay, so I will say this, though. You was giving me name after name, Arab name, and there are few people anywhere that would have known those names. I think he was reading them off a sheet.
And Fox hasn't touched this. And I've been in touch with Kelly, too. And I've been in
Let's go. Come on. Gotta go.
All right.
Gotta go.
There's
You're screwing up my whole speech, this guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's counterfeit substandard parts in most of the nuclear plants in the United States.
Counterfeit substandard parts in nuclear plants in the United States. I'm not surprised to hear that. Why? Am I surprised?
And some of them have come from China. Now, when I brought...
And in airplanes, too, by the way.
When I brought this out, the NRC, Nuclear Regulatory Commission, accused me of...
And our weapons, we don't even know if they work. To show you how stupid we are, they did a major television program, 60 Minutes, I don't know if anybody saw it, where they go into the silos. The stuff is old, it's rotted, the phone systems don't work, the wires going to the phones are all, they don't even know if it works. And I said, if I were Obama, I wouldn't be showing that. And they got in there because Obama wanted people to see how bad it is so that maybe they could get some money to fix it up. How stupid is this? Our enemies are looking at this stuff with 44-year-old phones and wires that don't work. And the people, they're interviewing the people that are working in these phone systems, and they're saying, no, you can't hear. You can't hear. And I'm saying, can you believe what we're doing? It's like in the war. They were saying, we're going in 2 weeks and we're going to be attacking a certain city. You know what I'm talking about. And we're going to attack, and this is the way we're doing it, and we're going here. And I'm saying, can you imagine the great General Douglas MacArthur or George Patton, any of these great guys, listening to a president say exactly what we're going to be doing? Then I said, you know, that's smart, because they'll do the opposite. They didn't. It was exactly as he said. First of all, these lenders aren't babies. These are total killers. These are not the nice, sweet little people that you think, okay? You know, I mean, you're living in a world of the make-believe, Chris. You want to know the truth. Right now we have Obama. He won't call. He doesn't even call to get our hostages back from Iran. Here we are in the middle of a deal, and he doesn't call about that. One sentence, I'd say, you got to, before we start, get those people back. Used to be 3, now it's 4. Get those people. They'd be back the next hour. You hear our politicians, John McCain, 2 days, oh, Benghazi, you don't hear about it anymore. Hillary Clinton with the emails, all the emails, 2 days. I'm more disappointed in the Republicans in many ways. They talk and talk and talk.
And I just got back from Chattanooga, too, and I spoke to some Marines there.
And guess what happens to Anthony Weiner? A month ago, I see he went to work for a public relations firm. Do you believe it? Now, if you think that Uma isn't telling Anthony, who she's probably desperately in love with, in all fairness to Anthony, because why else would she marry this guy? Can you believe it? Can't see straight. But if you would...
I got involved because I'm in the nursing home profession.
Okay, come on, you know.
Can't see straight.
Oh, wait a minute. No, let me finish this.
Okay. You know what? I think your question's great, and I can understand. He's talking about basically counterfeit parts, just to cut to the chase. We don't have to know that you're in the nursing home business. What are you trying to talk to some of us about joining your little home? Come on, sit down. Enough. We think it's good. We think your point is good. Yeah, give it to him. Good. They said to Marco Rubio, are you having fun? He's sweating like a pig. I never saw a guy sweat like this. The sweat is pouring down. I think Rubio is a low energy, but here's the problem with Rubio. When you sweat that much, now think of it. So you have Putin, he's sitting over here. And he's waiting to kill the stupid Americans because he's been just destroying us so badly. So he figures, oh, and a guy walks in and he's soaking wet and sweating. Hello, hello, can I have some water? And Putin's sitting there, what the hell kind of stuff is this? This is not exactly a poker player, folks. John McCain goes, oh boy, Trump makes my life difficult. He had 15,000 crazies show up, crazies. He called them all crazy. I said, they weren't crazy. They were great Americans. These people, if you would have seen these people, I know what crazy is. I know all about crazies. These weren't crazy.
Yeah, we do.
So he insulted me, and he insulted everybody in that room. And I said, somebody should run against John McCain, who has been, you know, in my opinion, not so hot. And I supported him. I supported him for president. I raised $1 million for him. It's a lot of money. I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, you know, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that, because I don't like losers. But Frank, let me get to it. He hit me. He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Do you agree with that?
He's a war hero because he was captured.
Newsflash, the Republican Party's been fighting against a single-payer system for a decade. So I think you're on the wrong side of this if you're still arguing for a single-payer system.
I don't think you heard me. You're having a hard time tonight.
All right,
I know Anthony Weiner for a long time. I knew before they caught him with the bing. And he was a bad guy then. It turned out that he was a really bad guy. So Rand Paul calls. He wants to play golf. I play golf. I kill him at golf. I did.
But when the folks of Iowa found out the true facts of the job that you've done in Wisconsin, all of a sudden you tubed. He was number 1. Now he's number 6 or 7 in the poll. So Jeb Bush, let's say he's president. He knows it's so good. He'll have a little pressure. Don't let the plant be built. And he might even say, don't let the plant be built. Might even call the head of Ford. The plant's not going to be built. And then the next day, he'll be called by special interests that supported him, his lobbyists who push him around like a piece of candy. Jeb Bush will never take us to the promised land. He doesn't have it. Did you ever see a sign that says Jeb Bush or Bush? Now, there's a reason he doesn't use his last name, because it's not going to work too well. Because we had a lot of problems with that last name. And I think you can see I'm having a good time. I really am. You know, they said to Jeb Bush, he was like this. They said, are you having fun? Yes.
Our governor here in Massachusetts, Charlie Baker, has described some of your comments about women as reprehensible. Do you have a response to that?
No, he must have been talking about Jeb Bush. Because, frankly, Jeb Bush said he didn't want to fund women's health issues, and then he came back a few hours later and he said he misspoke. I think he must be talking about Jeb Bush. He's not talking about me. Jeb Bush said that on women's health issues that he won't fund him. Then he apologized. You okay? Jeb Bush said that on women's health issues, he won't fund them.
Whose phone is that? You ready? Third time. Ready? Jeb Bush said that on women's health issues, he won't fund them. Then he said, oh, I misspoke. I'm so sorry. There was no question because I heard when he said the statement. I was watching and he said the statement and I said, wow, I can't believe it. I will take care of women. I respect women. I will take care of women. You said you're going to cut funding for women's health issues. You said it.
Record.
Yeah, except you said it.
I want to.
Jeb will be very poor as a president. No energy.
Okay, yes.
Jeb Bush a frequent target of yours, and what do you think
Well,
about
I would say Jeb Bush is a frequent target because when this whole thing started, I thought he was going to be the primary competition, but he's drifted very much to the middle of the pack and he's rapidly disappearing. So we're going to have to start looking at somebody else.
One of the things people love about you is you speak your mind and you don't use a politician's filter. However, that is not without its downsides. You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
We have totally incompetent people. Now, some people say they're bad people. I don't think they're that smart to be bad people. I just think, honestly, I mean, a lot of people get angry when I say, I don't think they're bad. I think they're stupid. I think they're incompetent. I think Hillary would be a terrible president. She was the worst Secretary of State in the history of our nation. Why would she be a good president? I think she'd be a terrible president. These politicians, they run and they run and they win and sometimes they lose and they keep running. That's all they do is run. And then you have this guy, Lindsey Graham, a total lightweight. Here's a guy in the private sector, he couldn't get a job, believe me. They dunk people with a cage. Did you see that? They dunk them and drown them.
Maybe Iron Eagle couldn't get a job in the private sector because he's military. Lindsey Graham, Iron Eagle.
These people make Saddam Hussein look like a choir boy. And then I watch this idiot Lindsey Graham on television today, and he calls me a jackass. He's a jackass. He actually probably seems to me not as bright, honestly, as Rick Perry. I think Rick Perry probably is smarter than Lindsey Graham, but what do I know? I'm at 38, I think, in South Carolina. He's at 3. He's a senator. They have 0. They have 1. They have 2. Why do they keep going? There's something I don't understand. If I was one of them, I would crawl quietly out. I'd probably tweet. I've decided to get out of the race. I wouldn't have a news conference. No, it's true. I'd tweet. I've decided I'm going to get out of the race. And then I'd sneak out to some place with my wife and I'd just go away. Okay, so now Bush goes in and he makes a mistake, and then Obama, frankly, might as well have stayed there, but okay, but he made a mistake too. And I said, keep the oil. Do you remember that? And everyone said, you can't keep the oil. It's a sovereign country. You can't keep the oil. I said, keep the oil.
Let's keep the oil, boss.
We're in there now. You blew it. You shouldn't have gone in. So here's who has it. Iran is taking it, and ISIS has it. And ISIS now is building a hotel in Iraq. They're competing with me. Do you believe it? They did the beheading. And then they've done other... And I said, you know, they're making a big mistake, ISIS. Because if they wouldn't have done that, and if they wouldn't keep doing it, we wouldn't have cared. We could have been gone. But you can't. Now, when you see what they're doing, you can't. Had they not done those things, the level of violence, we're like living in medieval times. You know, when you hear medieval times, you always think we're all civilized. It's a jungle. It's horrible out there.
They call me the ratings machine. So I have, you know, she gets out and she starts asking me all sorts of ridiculous questions. And, you know, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
And then I see Rick Perry the other day, and he's so, you know, he's doing very poorly in the polls. He put glasses on so people will think he's smart. And it just doesn't work. You know, people can see through the glasses. So he said he shouldn't be allowed on the debate stage. I said to myself, he shouldn't. And then I tweeted, you know, I have many millions between Facebook and Twitter. It's great. It's like owning a newspaper without the losses. It's incredible. Incredible. So I tweeted.
Without the losses, is he implying all newspapers have been operating at a loss? Which means somebody's funding that shit. This is the end of that enemy of the people bullshit.
That Rick Perry should have to have an IQ test before getting on the debate stage. I mean, here's a guy goes on a bicycle to go on a bicycle race. He's 73 years old. He's in a bicycle race. He falls. He breaks his leg during the negotiation. And I tell everybody, and you probably heard it, I swear to you, I will never be in a bicycle race as long as I'm president.
To subject my wife into the middle of a raucous political conversation was completely inappropriate, and I hope you apologize for that, Donald.
Well, I have to tell you, I hear phenomenal things. I hear your wife is a lovely woman.
She is.
I
She's
don't
fantastic.
know her, and this
She
is
is
a total
absolutely the love of my life, and she's right here, and why don't you apologize for her?
No, I won't
right
do that
now.
because I said nothing wrong, but I do hear she's a lovely woman.
I want to get paid the same as a man, and I think you understand that. So if you become president, will a woman make the same as a man, and do I get to choose what I do with my body?
You're going to make the same if you do as good a job. They spent, listen to this, $1 million on ads against me in Iowa. Now, here's the good news. They used the best pictures. I look so good in those pictures. I'm trying to find where they got them. Because they're stupid. But I was like a young guy. I looked so handsome. I said to myself, oh, I wish I still looked like that. It would be great. And his son came back from the deli, and he called the father. He used to call him Old Man. Old man, I'll be there in 3 minutes. Rubio, I've never seen a young guy sweat that much. No, I've never seen, he's drinking water. I never saw anything like this with him with the water. And everybody, Huckabee, nice guy, he was seriously hot. He was soaking wet. I grabbed him around his back. I said, good job. And it was soaking wet. I immediately...
It seems like this election has been a whole lot about a person who's very high in the polls, but doesn't have a clue about how to govern, a person who has been filled with scandals and who could not lead. And of course, I'm talking about Hillary Clinton. I think America...
Thank you. It's been an amazing journey for me. It's been a lot of fun. I never thought I'd be a politician in my life. He said I'm not. Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm not.
There it is. And check this out. I can't even still believe this. Shout out to this Acknowledgy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Acknowledgy. Donald Trump Funny Moments Ultimate Compilation. Check out the date, guys. October 21st, 2015. It wasn't even 2016. And Trump said all of those different things. When I watched it, I saw it, it was last night or earlier this morning. I was like shocked by like how many freaking things that came out, and I forget this too with the Muslim pronunciation, Huma Abedin. It's actually supposed to be Uma Abedin. So that's without the H, right, Tim? So the H in the kill brackets, of course, reference to Hillary, also hell with the Epstein Island. Haiti, also Haiti major connection too, but it's Uma. And then also the H missing. If we do Huma, like the Harvard University of Muslim alumni, that would also be H, could be Harvard in there too. So that's where you get your secret societies. That's where the spies are at. That's where the good doctor for COVID actually, COVID, I don't know if you guys know this, he was working on 5G technology. So there's 2 Q drops with CCP, mention this all the time. The second one talks about the doctor that was arrested during COVID. We're not going to talk about that today, I don't think. Check that out yourself. Look up CCP. There's the long Q post, 4620. Done that a couple times here. Check out the other CCP post in there to find out about the doctor and the COVID situation. How you doing, brother Tim? It's going to be Timbo, and myself. I sent out a little bat signal to a couple other people. If anybody listening out there, Jay or anybody, Adam, y'all want to pop in, but it's all good. Tim and I will rock and roll, catch up with the news. Kind of want to just highlight some of the cool stuff. Trusting the plan. We get more confirmations from this Department of Labor account. Posted, hold the line. Actually, after that, I was like, oh, we should have maybe done that for the title. But tomorrow's Delta has that we are at war with the which is what we're in against this 5th generational war. Is the social media sites, but let's call it the fake news media spinning and trying to capture the minds of all these people. This is what 5th generation warfare is. But that's Trump from over 10 years ago. So trust the plan if you don't like that. How you doing, brother Tim?
I'm doing great, brother. Yeah, I just woke up from one of my Anon naps there, so I'm a little bit, I got to ruffle my feathers a little bit. But yeah, welcome to Q School, everybody. I think this is week 23 now. I lost track. I don't know. But yeah, how was your weekend, man? I had a great, I did a lot of digging on the weekend. You know, speaking of we're at war, I did a lot of digging on the Quran, Islam, the ideology, and all the nastiness of that infiltration, we call it. Remember on Friday we played the snake poem with Trump wearing the glasses. So I got a couple of things I want to share with the fam jam today, just to you know, give something to put into your pipe and smoke a little bit, because it's pretty incredible that after we did that Friday show, Friday night, a lot of people maybe didn't get a chance to, but you guys all know I'm a big fan of Real America's Voice. Well, Steve Bannon and the crew were live in Texas, and they were talking about the infiltration of the Muslim Brotherhood into the American society. And of course, with all the Somalian corruption going on in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which everybody's buzzing about, of course, there was protests all weekend long in different parts of the country. But man, did I ever start digging on some stuff, and I found some pretty interesting videos that I'm going to share with you guys today, but might play a little bit of it too. But yeah, I had a great weekend. You know, like what's that saying? Kyle, help me out with this one. If you know your enemy and you know yourself, the battle's already over, right? Or the battle's already won. But if you know yourself and don't know your enemy, you might win one, you might lose one, kind of thing. I kind of had that thought going through my mind all weekend as I was starting to learn more about this infiltration. And I did repost our October show when we broke down the Muslim Brotherhood infiltration. And I was really impressed with that video you just played, because I didn't know you were going to play it today, when Trump was already talking about the infiltration back then and bringing up Huma Abedin, of course, the connections to her parents being involved in the Muslim Brotherhood. And then he talked about the illegal immigrants driving vehicles across the border. I kind of laughed at that too. But yeah, it's amazing that video was Trump at his finest 10 years ago. How far back does this plan really go? And he was busting Rubio's balls too, and all of a sudden Rubio is his Secretary of State right now. You can't make this up, man. You're muted.
That was my own mute. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like how long back, and then all the different characters, 2.0. Something to even mention too is like the movie side of it too, because you know, if you even y'all, I know my aunt out here would know, like, you know, Hillary Clinton arrested September 11th, 2016. The military in control. I mean, think about it too. Like to 7 plus Trump, 17 plus. Like when did the movie start? Also too, and like crafted. Are those actors on the stage? Like even though Trump was just nailing all these different stuff and keeping it real, certainly at the rallies, you know, he does that certain authentic element. That's what people appreciate, you know, and that was even some raw moments, because that's his early campaigning, 2015. That's done by October 21st. He goes down the escalator in June of 2015. That's literally like 4 months only of Trump in 2015. That's the most mind-boggling thing about the whole thing. That's 4 months of 2015 right there. All those 26 minutes worth. That video was done prior to, or on October 21st, 2015. So that just like, that makes it even crazier. But here's the thing what Tim was talking about. You want to read it, Tim, on this one right here?
Yeah, hence the saying, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. Very important.
And that's why, you know, information's everything. So if you know neither, here's the last part. Here, go ahead and do the last part.
Yeah, if you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. And yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Like, I mean, you think about the Q drops, how much it's helped us through our journey of the information warfare and the spiritual warfare. But you know, every day we're learning something new and something more valuable, and in order to protect our family and our futures, because we have to understand who and what we're up against, and it is good versus evil. Don't kid yourself. This is really, we're seeing the street demons. We saw them all weekend. We saw them all last week. Unfortunately, it's the mind virus, the TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, gone wild right now. We're seeing it, but it had to be this way, as Q has taught us. I mean, we have to see more of this for our family and friends to wake the F up. I mean, You know, I mean, I don't know how much further they're going to keep this going, but all I know is that, you know, we all stand firm, stand tall, stand proud. We're being loud. We're living in faith. We trust the plan. We trust ourselves. We trust our discernment, and it has been an amazing journey. But yeah, understanding and learning our enemies, Kyle, that's been probably more than half the battle. You know, and that's the sickening part, is really understanding and learning how much corruption there is, how much evil there has been, and how they've controlled our lives and lied to us our entire lives. I mean, that's the gut punch, right? That's the kick in the balls.
The size of it is so profound. That's where even Q references, like, you know, it's so dark and evil too, and twisted, and regular human beings, and they've planted this on us too, to think, they make you think every human nature is by design bad or corrupted or racist or that, but this is all fucking programming, you know what I mean? And just like that quote, I gotta bring it up again because, like, man, you hit it so perfectly, and it started like making sense as the Q information, the back channel. You know, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Quite frankly, this is what the Q psyop, if you want to call it, because it is a psychological operation, was about, is exposing the enemy, like Tim's saying, knowing their playbook, putting it on full display for everybody to see, the narcissists using their projection, everything else. But also, Q taught us to question everything and think for yourself, which helps you begin to know yourself and ask yourself those questions. And when you know yourself and we know the enemy, which is where us Anons are through this battlefield and reading the Q drops and working together, then we need not fear the result of 100 battles. And then if you know yourself but not the enemy, every victory gained, you also suffer defeat. Like if we didn't understand them, and some of us maybe have had to go through that. And then the last part there too is, if you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. And that's unfortunately with our brave friends and family ours. They don't understand even what the enemy is. They don't even know themselves either too. So this is basically the dilemma we're in. That's why we're at war with because again, they've had censorship over the social medias for so long. And then the fake news media has been this huge part of this operation. And again, there were so many parts, like I wanted to pause and like highlight there again. He talked about the oil, of course, but he talked about, it's like I have my own newspaper, but without the losses. Did you hear me come in there for a second, Tim?
Yeah.
The fact that he says that, think about in 2015, and now we're seeing a bunch of other ones shutting down because the federal funding is stopped. So how are all these news organizations only afloat from federal funding? Like that means that people weren't actually watching this as much as they were. No, and they weren't. Then this is all propaganda. Then it's basically state-owned media. If you can't stay afloat from your own revenue streams, you need federal government funding. And then he says newspapers, but without the losses, almost implying that all newspapers have maybe operated at a loss, which meant they're all being put out with funding, which means propaganda, which is wild to think about. Those subtle little things. He drops so much information in there on these little subtle things, and then just analyzing more of the stuff from the video, you know, even like who's in the background, all these subtle cues that's like subconsciously programming and helping awaken the people over time. It's just wild to observe and step back and see the full picture, right?
Yeah, amen. Yeah, for sure. So I did a lot of research over the weekend, like I was saying, a lot of stuff about the Quran, Islam, the ideology behind it. And would you guys happen to know, and I didn't know this until this week, and that's why I say we're learning something new all the time. I found some very, very valuable, very important information for you to share, not only with yourselves, but your loved ones. Because we are in the thick of it right now. We have been and continue to be infiltrated by a very sick, evil ideology, obviously, that's infesting a lot of our own brothers and sisters around the world, unfortunately, especially in Europe. But would you have, if I would have told you, Kyle, you know, this Quran thing, this so-called Quran Bible thing, that it's all about Islam, or these Islam people,
Islamism,
Islam, the ideology of it. If I told you it was a scam from the get-go, it was a lie from day one, would you believe me?
Well, I mean, divided by religion, race, you know, divide the people every different which way you can. So it kind of basically be expected if we've been paying attention to everything else going on in our history and everything else we've been learning. So what you got? What'd you dig up?
Oh my God, I dug up it. Like, we don't have time, obviously, in the show to play all the videos that I have, but there is There is one. I put it at the bottom of the wall. And I'd like to play maybe about 15, 20 minutes, if that's okay with you, of Geert Wilders. He's from the Netherlands. He's been running for office for many, many years now. He's like the Netherlands Trump. Let's put it that way. He's a patriot, and he's been fighting these demons for quite some time, and he's got quite an extensive history. And he's been attacked. His life has been threatened. Him and his family. He's on 24-hour protection for the last 25 years, and he was live Friday night in Texas, along with Steve Bannon and a couple other great speakers, because Texas is being sworn by Muslim Brotherhood. I mean, they're building all these synagogues and all these different things, and these big monstrosities of developments. And of course, as you may or may not know, but the governor of Texas declared Muslim Brotherhood a terrorist organization. So they're right in the thick of it right now. We know about Dearborn, Michigan. We've learned about Somalians in Dearborn, Michigan, and we're hearing, or not Dearborn, but in Minneapolis, Minnesota, we're hearing more. Washington State now. It's starting to, it's really starting to branch out. So I've got that video. He does speak for about 30, 35 minutes, but at least if I can send you guys in the right direction, we'll play a little bit of him so you get to see who he is and hear what he has to say about Islam. And it's not a good thing. This is part of understanding and learning who your enemy is. And then I'm going to back it up with two-hour specials, session 1, session 2, with a guy by the name of I've got it in Diggers here. His name is Jay Smith, and believe this, like I wanted to tell you and Melzie, he has a full-blown ministry against Islam. Like, he debunks the whole thing. He proved it. It's mind-blowing. He's in New Mexico, bro. He's in New Mexico.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
New Mexico. Yeah. It's and we'll bring those up on the screen and maybe play just a couple minutes of him so you know who he is. And I'll send you guys in the right direction. But I really wanted to bring that to the forefront because this is part of the war that we're in, and it is a big part. And again, it refers to the snake poem that we played on Friday, Kyle. And the timing of this is just amazing because starting tonight, Steve Bannon, he's designated going right from now tonight until March 3rd, which is the what do you call that? The early election in Texas. March 3rd is the they're battling for somebody in Texas. I forget the guy's name, but it's 6 o'clock every weeknight. The War Room is discussing the Muslim Brotherhood, the infiltration of
War Rooms on One America, or which one? Tim?
Well, One America's Voice, Real America's Voice, but he's on at 5 o'clock till 6 o'clock. Then John Solomon comes on.
So Real America's Voice, though, right? That's the channel?
That's correct. But in order to see Steve Bannon at 6 o'clock, you have to go over to Getter and his own channel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just show Real America. We haven't showed them for a while. That's where you can get John Solomon. So americasvoice.news is actually the web address, americasvoice.news, guys. But if you it's Real America's Voice, so you see a lot of these different clips. John Solomon's at 6 p.m. Eastern, right, Tim?
That's correct.
Murkowski from Alaska. I should just call her a Democrat. Congressional investigation into the DOJ coercion of Fed. Is that like the Federal Reserve? I don't know. It just went away from me. Anyways, there's Real America's News. So a good place for some that information. And then Tim explained how y'all can get to the different Bannon stuff also.
Yeah. So and there's major breaking news this morning. If you guys want to get caught up, smashing amazing news that hits the Delta. Not the Delta board. There's no Deltas today, but it hits the Q Intel board. And that's about Crossfire Hurricane. They have impaneled a grand jury out of Florida today in regards to Crossfire Hurricane, which is John Brennan and that whole crew from it's a conspiracy. This is the grand conspiracy case that involves Mar-a-Lago also. So you got a wrap up of the Crossfire Hurricane shenanigans with all the players from A to Z that are in the Q drops. and then they're bringing Mar-a-Lago in because that was the last hit. So that's what made it a grand conspiracy where they can go back. Speaking of 10 years, and here you are bringing up Trump 10 years ago. I mean, you can't make this up.
Wow. So he's touched on that. Let's see. Go to the Gateway Pundit. I want to pop in on that just for a second. I saw you had that Q drop up. And then even some other Q proofs farther back. I saw Jesse Waters. That's how far behind it was at 17:17 Eastern. Said hold the line, or Trump holding the line. And then again, the Department of Labor posted that hold the line too. So again, definitely have to do that title in the near future. And yes, Trinity.
And keep in mind before you read this, Kyle, because I want you to read some of it. Guess what tomorrow is? Tomorrow's the 13th, and what comes after the 13th, the 14th, and who has been subpoenaed and needs to show up or else.
Let's go. 11.3, 11.4, and then I think we're coming back around. January 19th might be the Patriots Day. It's also, I think it's always the National Popcorn Day too. So this will be a wild one. We're going to be coming up on 1 year too, seeing all the things happening already in 1 year. Fucking momentum like you've never seen before. Oh, it's beautiful. Let's see here. Grand jury ordered and paneled in Fort Pierce, Florida, starting today. Crossfire hurricane and raid on Mar-a-Lago. And that's what Tim's saying. They've been building this RICO case for a really long time. That's all going to connect. It connects to the election, to this, to that. That's what I mean. It's going to be proven in the court of law. There will be no questions. We've been following these assholes forever. FISA equals the start. FISA goes both ways. And if the start is 1999, imagine how many of these assholes have been watching for a long time. Imagine how many plucked out too without you knowing too. You'll find out. It's going to be a wild one. May explain Obama's frequent trips to UK over the last year. That's odd to me too. Or well, that, you know, we know the UK colluded in the treason against Donald Trump. And I've shown this.
What else is the UK famous for? Australia, Canada, the UK, London.
Yes. I mean, what is it?
Five
eyes. Yes, Tim. So, okay, 5 eyes. Thank you. And then look at this. Here's a great Q proof in itself because Q team brings our attention to this. The GCHQ, that's like your NSA of the United Kingdom. Okay, guys, this is who would operate the 5 eyes along 5 eyes, United States, Canada, United Kingdom, and then Australia and New Zealand are part of 5 eyes. Basically, we just allow each other to spy on each other, which is kind of basically bullshit. And so the GCHQ again is like the NSA equivalent of Great Britain. Okay, the chief was Robert Hannigan. Hannigan oversaw a more open approach at GCHQ after the Snowden revelations exposed mass surveillance by the agency. But check out this date here. Hannigan had the lead of the head for just over 2 years. The date of this article, though, where's that? 8 years old. There it is, January 23rd. 2017, 3 days after Trump is sworn in office, the head of the GCHQ, the NSA of the Great Britain, resigns. Okay, the director of GCHQ, Robert Hannigan, is to stand down early for personal reasons. They always say that shit too. Track resignations. They always say, "Oh, it's a good time to step down and reinvest in something else." They all have the same bullshit. And this is part of that capitulation. If they gave us evidence and they basically rolled over and gave us everything, we'll let them quietly resign and do their bullshit and go in the fucking way. If they basically did everything we asked them, they're still going to prison for life. They're still, you know what I mean? Maybe they don't get executed, or even like Cappy talks about, this is for some of their souls. You're talking about Hollywood people, you know, turning over evidence. Like it's it. The game's over for y'all. Y'all made your decisions. Y'all chose to, you know, sell your soul to the devil. Y'all chose to harm other people. Y'all chose to be service to self. Now it's time to face the repercussions. And that's what we basically put in front of these fuckers. Okay. Director of GCHQ, Hannigan, to stand down. I just read that. Hannigan only took over the UK surveillance agency in November of 2014. So that's right around the fall of the Ukraine. So maybe they installing their rogue guy here. Or is he going to be a patsy? Who knows? To oversee more open approach revelations by the National Security Agency whistleblower Edward Snowden. Okay, so that's probably what happened was the previous guy got fired during the Snowden situation. He got put in, but then he gets caught in trying to commit treason and help spy on the president of the United States. So there it is. His sudden resignation, he informed staff just hours before making this decision public, prompted speculation that it might be related to British concerns over shared intelligence with the U.S. Of course, they're going to spin it in their way. Oh, maybe he's concerned that we're giving information that fascist Nazi Donald Trump, or maybe he's got the information on your ass, assholes. That's what fucking time it is, especially you fake news outlets. He stressed his decision was exclusively for family. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. That's what they all say. There's Hannigan right there. So I just want to show that. Okay, so let's go this real quick. The grand jury about this raid. Grand jury will be impaneled Fort Pierce, Florida. So again, a lot of cases going to be taken on in Florida. We got the Mar-a-Lago. Somehow the Epstein too could be in Florida. We might do all of them in Florida. Maybe SDNY was the misdirection, or I think we'll still have something with SDNY because we got a special prosecutor out there. But it's all going to be ran by the states. It was going to be really interesting how this plays out. There it is, January 12th, 2026. Crossfire Hurricane and the illicit raid on Mar-a-Lago will be under scrutiny. So there it is. That's a big deal, guys. And think about how many years in between those two things are. So they've been keeping this RICO case running for a long time. This is what essentially this amounts to. The fact that they're adding them together means they've been making a case from point A, which would be the early shit. What was the first hurricane? Crossfire Hurricane. So that's 2015. We were just playing the 2015 video. And then the raid on Mar-a-Lago is 2022. So there you go, guys. And then also, Tim, that one Q drop, we always say that 6 years ahead. Wait till you see the drops on the March 4th, your birthday. I'm gonna hopefully remember to tease those because we're gonna do a special on that. It's gonna.
I remember the coffee mug. That's all I remember from March 4th.
No, there's the big Q proof, Tim, but all the other drops, I don't know how we missed it on the inauguration. Probably because there was so much going on. That inauguration night, if you see the drops, one even has roasted in kill brackets, and he roasted the whole Democrat Party. Remember we said they're human traffickers, and he pointed at them and the whole thing. We're gonna play the whole speech again for that anniversary, but we're gonna tease up to it, leading into it, because I think it's gonna be a big date. I know it's gonna be a big date. Another big player in the Spygate stuff, y'all maybe don't know very well. I got to do a better job teaching these characters. George Papadopoulos, okay, so Justin grand jury he's been involved with Spygate since the beginning, guys. Here he is, Justin.
I got a video from this morning. He was on Steve Bannon, bro. We're gonna play 6 minutes of him.
Okay, I saw. Okay, that he's on there. Interesting. So there it is. Just like we read, Crossfire Hurricane, the CIA / Five Eyes operation, and the raid on Mar-a-Lago under scrutiny. That's a big deal. Again, the fact that they're connected tells you everything.
This is huge. This is huge, guys. This is the beginning. This is it. This is the one of the grand conspiracy cases. There's going to be others, but this one's really is going to haul a lot of asses in for sure.
The Fort Pierce grand jury is expected to investigate the almost decade-long conspiracy into President Trump. The alleged criminal act started in 2015 and continued on into Joe Biden's administration, and it will be 10 years, guys, because also the assassination attempts, right? Democrats who approved of spying on the 45th president and his family, raiding his home, abusing him with continued lawfare cases, etc., now say they are worried about political retribution. Imagine fucking that. These sneaky snakes that project on everyone, blame everyone for what they're fucking doing. They're like, oh my God, retribution. How dare we? Of course, the legacy media has never been honest about shit. The spying and lawlessness that was directed at Donald J. Trump, our 45th through 47th president. What an article, man. Oh, in December, former CIA director John Brennan got his ass, who led the Crossfire Hurricane criminal actions against Trump, said he is the target of the grand jury probe. Didn't we? And we didn't do Brennan yet. He hasn't gotten indicted yet, Tim.
That's correct. He has not. This is his time to shine.
He's on that list. He's coming. We're
dark to light. Here we go.
So I got that 1240 marker with the guy that you wanted to highlight.
Let's play Papadopoulos first because it goes with the article. I just put it at the bottom of the wall for you, bro. It's right at the bottom.
Right. Okay, cool.
So let's hear what Bannon and Papadopoulos said this morning.
Okay, so just a little background. George Papadopoulos, guys, was basically supposedly this unknowing participant in this whole thing. And essentially he was over in UK. I think.
FISA goes both ways, right?
FISA goes both ways. FISA goes both ways. But basically CIA assets in, like, again, a lot of times they're in college institutions type things. We're trying to basically trap Papadopoulos into, kind of.
And he's in the Q drops just to help anybody new to the.
I know it's been a while. Go ahead, Tim. Explain. Yeah, the Q drops.
Well, I just want to say Papadopoulos is one of the characters in the play in the Q drops in the Intel board.
You know what, we could let's do this. Let's show this real quick here. I'm going to use QAG on this one, guys. Again, there's different pros and cons to each. I'm kind of, I'm used to using QAG. I try to use Q alerts more. Here's a really cool feature on QAG though. And then again, the web address, I haven't said that for a while. I know somebody on the comments was like QAGG.news. Okay. The other one's QAlerts.pub. That's your main two. There are others out there. There's one with the app and stuff too. But QAG.news, one really cool thing that you can scroll up and there's this little thing that looks like a chess piece, and just click the chess piece and you're gonna get all the players on the board. And we've talked about this a handful of times, but in case there's, we're getting new people all the time. So there's Anthony Weiner right there, right on Q. Hillary Clinton.
Right on Q. There, boy, Anthony
Weiner. And then, did you hear Trump when he was talking about? He said, "You never know where he's looking, or if he's looking at you." I think he was making fun of those crazy eyes.
Didn't Trump also go beep boop 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 beep?
Yeah, beep boop boop boop, sending his little dick pics to fucking teenage girls, and allowing their whole fucking cabal to come crashing down because these assholes blackmail everything and keep it all cataloged and archived in one fucking place for us because we have everything, and these motherfuckers.
We have it all.
Yep.
So we're looking for Papadopoulos. Let's see where he is.
Control F. I'm a George. You probably can't.
What number do you think he is in this? There's Huma. Oh, Huma Abedin's in there too.
Oh, right next to George Soros. So I'm going to say 77. We got 3 Georges. So there's George Soros. I just typed George. I don't know if you guys can see this on my screen there. Second George is George W. Bush. He's number 54. And hopefully they got George Papadopoulos in there. Oh, no, it's George twice. How are they on Papadopoulos? Let me see if they do Papa in here. Got to have Papadopoulos in here. Right?
I would think so.
I know. I'm not finding him. There's a lot of people in here, so I don't know if I want to scroll live with you guys. If anybody wants to double check on, it should come up on that search, the Control F. So that's odd to me. It's almost like a missing character, maybe. Let's just scroll through. You guys can see them all. Paul Nakasone. I showed that Q job. Interesting. He's number 48. That's the director of the NSA, next chief of United States Cyber Command, chief of Central Security Services, and director of national security. And Q specifically mentions his name prior to him being a national security director. I wonder how that happened. Ruth Bader, Julian Assange, Mike Pompeo, Bush, John Bolton. You guys can learn a lot about these people. Huber, we talked about a couple months back. It's been a while since we'll probably come back around to Huber. Rudy Giuliani, Gina Haspel, CIA director. Richard Donahue, that's a big one no one talks about. United States attorney for the Eastern District of New York.
Those names they're going to be wrapped up in this RICO too. You're going to see that's the foreign and domestic.
Okay, yeah.
And Downey. Downey was the prime minister of Australia back then. Five Eyes. That's all Five Eyes shit right there.
Wait, is this the same guy? I thought this is an American guy.
I'm okay. No, I'm thinking of the Australian prime minister.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. This guy's an attorney for the Q team in Eastern District of New York. So we have the Southern District. This is Eastern. Mr. Donahue served as on active duty in the U.S. Army JAG Corps, where he held positions including military magistrate judge, prosecutor, defense counsel, and contract litigator. Again, he's been on Trump's, kind of background team, the attorney general, and we really don't hear about him, which means he's probably doing important stuff. So those are just other things highlighting. John F. Kelly. Let's see.
How do you spell Papadopoulos anyway? I'll look it up here.
I thought it's Papa, like P-A-P-A.
P-A? Oh, it's not P-O-P, P-O-P, isn't it?
Oh, maybe it is. We got that article up. We should be able to see it. Let's see. Maybe that's what I did wrong. But I did George. It should have popped up with George, I think. Seth Rich, John P. Carlin, Amanda Renteria. Not familiar with her. Said she's let's see, Amanda Renteria. This is what's cool about this board, guys. You can learn the players and see their faces, which helps a lot of people. Okay, I'm not sure like that. I don't know Amanda Renteria. Amanda Renteria is a political aide for the Democratic Party running for governor of California. Shout out to Louis Herms, a friend of ours who's running for governor of California. I'm going to try to get somehow on his political campaign. We'll help him out. Q has said that she is the bridge between Loretta Lynch and Hillary Clinton. What does she know about the infamous tarmac meeting Supreme Court deal? So all these other players, Michael Avenatti, there's the creepy porn lawyer. He was highlighted in the R. Kelly documentary, which is interesting too. Sheila Jackson Lee. Come on, we got all these people. Where's Papadopoulos? We got Rouhani in there. Ezra Cohen Watnick.
Maybe he's not in the drops.
Did you? No, he's in the drops too. Come on.
He's got to be in the drops somewhere.
We're spelling his name wrong. You just try.
I just put in pop. I'm going through 108 drops right now.
So how does he spell his first four letters there? Durham, Cruz, Coates, Epstein, Mayer, Ratcliffe, McMasters, Nadler, Macron, Atkinson, Bidman, Catherine Herridge, Ghislaine Maxwell. We got no Georgie in here. What's going on, Mr. Smith? You got a character missing. All right.
I think he's in one of the links in the Q drops. I think that's where.
Gotta be. And also his tweets and stuff. There's no freaking way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see what's going on here. George Soros, George Stephanopoulos. Like, what's going on here? What is going on? Here's George Papa 19. There's his Gmail. See, did you just search Papa? We should search Papa.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
Let's check out this one though. Let's check out this tweet here since we're on the spot. Oh, he got ousted. I'm assuming that's his email, his Twitter. I guess we'll find out here. And we go back again on QAG. Another cool feature on QAG is this: if the tweet is gone, there's a folder archived of it. D-class coming, remain in the public light, safety. Let's see if this is George Papadopoulos. Sharing this tab now. I think that's him. Let's take a look. There it is. So he got removed off Twitter also. Imagine that. And here is George Papadopoulos. Yeah, he's just not on the keyboard for some reason. It used to be George Papa 19. The guys with illegal FISAs on them by the Obama administration, me, Page, I'm sure that's Carter Page, General Flynn, Paul Manafort, have been silenced. A Freedom of Information Act request on my FISA should be very interesting reading in case declassification doesn't occur. Shocked that at New York Times is asking for Page's. Oh, this could actually be Carter Page too. Excuse me, it's probably Carter Page. Okay, so at New York Times is asking for Carter Page's FISA to remain sealed, and this is how the assholes continued this orchestration.
I got 7 drops with Papadopoulos. There we go.
Okay. Okay. Did you put Papa in, or did you put his whole last name?
I put Papa Dop.
Okay, but it is interesting that he didn't get counted from QAG because something like this drop, the one I was just highlighting, which was drop. I'm not sharing my screen.
Wow, 7.
But this one would probably not come up. Well, it might come up on if they did the board because he's got his email in here. So D class coming. Interesting. So what'd you search, Tim? For
Papa, P-A-P-A, Dop. Altogether, Dop. I didn't do the
Papa 14 Papa drops, which we talk about. Poppy Trumpo, Papa. There we go. Approved Papadopoulos. There's a couple in there. Mueller special approval. Who's paying attention? Let's see. Papa John.
Well, it's funny. I put in Papa Dop, and one of the drops exactly letter for letter has only Papa Dop, and then it has a dash and Manafort, the short form of Manafort.
What number is that?
Q drop. What number is that? 3990. Check it out. 3990.
Number one more time.
3990. 3990.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'll see where it says Flintstone - Papa Dop.
Okay.
This
is perfect.
I did the search just Papa Dop, and all of a sudden,
okay, Papa Dop.
Right there.
There it is. Oh my god, I got chills. Oh my gosh, because it's almost Papa D up. Papa D up.
That's how I did the search on Q.
Yeah. But think about up. The OP anon. OP is an op. So Papa D up is the way this is almost written, right? POTUS, Flintstone, the Papa D up, Manafort or Manifest is the manifest in there, how it came about. The CIA bridge, John Brennan Intel assess 17 in there. I've never seen that. 17 in the kill brackets. I can't even think of that. Oh, I got chills now. We're on to something, guys. This is what we do, Tim. CIA bridge, Brennan Intel assess 17, Ukraine link. Interesting what that is. We should just read this one, man. This is juicy. What is this one? Let me see how long it is. Okay, this is a good one. Especially back me up when I do the fired like we do, Tim. So here's a great assessment. This is April 28th, 2020, 19:14:45 on the timestamp. Interesting that 19 comes up because it was Papa 19 is his George Papa 19 is his deleted email account. 45's in there also, and Q drop 14, the whole thing, 3990. Let's see, chain of command, mid-year investigation. James Comey, FBI Director, Chief of Staff, Jim Rubicki, that could be another JR there too, JC Comey. Andrew McCabe, Deputy Director, aka number 2. Mark Giuliano, I don't really know him. Again, it looks like he was gone before McCabe, the number 2 guy. Lisa Page, that's Peter Strzok's lover, special counsel, basically for the FBI. And then National Security, NSB, not sure what NSB is. Here's some other characters on the stage, though. JB, Jim Baker, Trisha Anderson, Bill Priestchap, Randy Coleman, all these assholes. Okay, Peter Strzok, Supervisor Angels, and that analyst.
It was Priestchap and Strzok that went into Flynn's office without Flynn having anybody by his side. That's where the
okay. And I want to really play that. There's that show, Higher Loyalty. It was a 4-part series. I think it was originally on Netflix. It must be somewhere else now. Interesting how they do the characters, but if you understand the Q drops and you watch that 4-part series, it really makes, again, they're kind of like make General Flynn look bad. He's like eating a donut, but he's like, well, you guys have the transcripts, right? He's actually saying the plan. Like, he's letting these assholes know, I know you've already heard my phone call, so why are you asking me about it? That's where he allegedly lied, or not the lied, but that's where they think they entrapped him and stuff. And it's all these ins and outs, but it actually just makes you smile. And that makes me point strongly to that James Comey undercover white hat, or 2.0, whatever you want to call it, but he's definitely like linked with the white hats on this one's a big one. So let's read this drop here. So FBI chain of command, and that's that Q drop. 521 is about the chain of command. So this is big, guys. We're on to something. FBI, and that's tomorrow's deltas. FBI chain of command mid-year investigation about the HRC email scandal. FBI chain of command with the FISA, Russia, POTUS, Flynn, Roger Stone, Papadopoulos up, Manafort, or maybe Manifest in there. Why did they cut those short? Why would they do it that way? To save space or something more? I don't know. In the kill bracket, CIA Bridge, Brennan, that's John Brennan, the creepy Muslim, speaking of Muslim there, Intel assess 17 _ Ukraine _ link. Odd comms there. FBI chain of command regarding the the Democratic National Convention hack. When they hacked the DNC, that's Seth Rich. We scrolled by him, posted him on the 9th. Seth Rich, the DNC hack. What was the FBI's chain of command? They gave the fucking servers over to a Ukraine-based company named CrowdStrike. And who's in the news today, Tim, did you say?
That would be CrowdStrike, sir.
Holy shit, kids. I hope you're having fun with this shit, because we sure are. Holy fuck. FBI chain of command with the DNC hack. Killbox CIA is the bridge to Ukraine, which is the Ukraine is the guy, CEO, a Ukraine-based person is who owns the CrowdStrike company. They're a cyber security company. And here's John Brennan, obviously somehow worked that deal out. The FBI, instead of using their own forensic information and data, gave the fucking servers over to CrowdStrike. How does that make any sense? CrowdStrike downloads the server, and then this is where the Q drops explain this from Snowden 2, Q drop 2998, putting the fingerprints in there to make it look like it's from somewhere else. CrowdStrike can do that. They're a freaking cyber security team. That's everything they can do. They give the FBI basically, what's it called? It's the copy. It wasn't the actual server. It's a whatever digital copy of the server. And they're like, oh, it looks like Russia hacked it. It's like, these motherfuckers put that in there. Why would the FBI do that? And that's what Q's asking. Why would the FBI give their chain of command to the CIA, which gave it to then basically CrowdStrike, which connected to Brennan? Okay, here's all the connecting all the dots. Reconcile. Why the fuck would they do that unless they were complicit in this treason? Okay, if chain of command, and maybe they'll pass this on to maybe the buck of being the CIA's problem, because as I've said before, if the FBI, we can't fully expose how corrupt the FBI's been, because all the cases the good people have prosecuted over years and years and years would be challenged. It would be lawless. So it's a very delicate situation. I wonder how they're going to play this out, which makes me think the FBI will have to have credibility at something big like Epstein, or something that finally comes forward, that FBI has accountability for J6 shit, all these other atrocities, and then comes forward with real justice. Only fucking way they can ever hold their reputation again with American people, I would say. So let's keep going here. So reconcile. If chain of command plus the DOJ and the CIA, foreign and domestic, found guilty, indictment chapter 115 plus class 1-99, Q always says highest classification, what that is.
Okay, stop right there. Stop now. Bring up Q drop 2804. 2804. That's chapter 115 stuff right here in 2804. So let's take a look at this.
And we read this one, and we got a comm from the boss, because that's specifically in there. This is also the treason sedition, yeah. So
we're talking placeholders now, in place.
So let's do both these Q drops. So here's Q drop 2803 embedded in there. Do you mind reading this one for me, Tim?
Sure. Look for placeholders, updates at, and we've got the at. We are at war at. It's right there, Kyle.
Yes. Wow. Holy shit. There it is, guys. We're not planning this. This is how we roll.
Indictments, arrests, and declass will force worldwide coverage.
Let's go.
Collusion regarding media will force resignations with follow-up criminal prosecution. Q.
Bang.
And then
14 minutes, 31 seconds. Q responds.
You go ahead and read that, brother.
Okay. First, placeholders. And we've talked about placeholders being like arrests or indictments, things like this. OIG report, D-class, other release facts regarding 18 U.S. Code Chapter 115, treason, sedition, and subversive activities. Q.
Wow. This is huge. This grand jury out of Florida today. This is what this is all about right here.
Exactly what it's about.
It's big stuff, guys.
Let's go to Papadopoulos, Tim. Actually, let me finish this drop here. It's a little long, but
drop, and then we'll listen to Georgie. Yeah.
So if the chain of command, which would be the Department of Justice, what'd you say?
Hello, George.
Hello, George. Let's go. So if the chain of command, which would be the DOJ and the FBI and the CIA in regards to foreign and domestic, were found guilty in indictment with Chapter 115, which is sedition, plus Class 1-99 highest classification stuff regarding USA versus 1-236. Not sure what that's about. Regarding FISA, can the same argument be made regarding mid-year plus the DNC plus? Oh, we're tying it all together. This is the RICO case, guys.
This is it.
It was called the mid-year exam, basically getting their P's and Q's in order. Like, if Trump wins, it's not going to look like we did this. You know, it's not like we did this bullshit. That's what the mid-year exam is, basically like getting their P's and Q's in order, right? We got to do everything by the book. Plus the DNC hack, giving that over to Ukraine. What else does this spell out? Especially with Brennan's connection to also trying to loop in Admiral Rogers among other intelligence directors that, hey, we need to rush this assessment and say, looks like Russia might be doing something with Trump. He said, fuck no. Okay. So reference public optics retired left refers to fired force. Okay. So this is actually full circle. I was talking about Hannigan, guys. It's going to say, oh, I stepped down because it's the right time for my family. Not that I committed treason. I trying to spy on Donald Trump and da-da-da. This same shit with all these assholes, guys. And this list has gotten only longer and it's all the same shit. So Tim, help me out with the, you know what part.
Oh yeah. I got it. I got your back.
James Coney, director.
You're fired.
Andrew McCabe, number 2, bitch ass deputy director.
You're fired.
Jim Rubicki, chief of staff.
Fired.
James Baker, general counsel.
Get out of here. You're fired.
Bill Priestap, nobody cares about your ass, but your Strzok's boss. What happened to Tim?
Fired.
Fired his ass. Peter Strzok.
Fired.
His lover, Lisa Page.
You're fired.
Mike Cortan.
Fired.
Josh Campbell, special assistant to Comey.
You're fired.
Michael Steinbach, head of National Security Division.
You're gone.
Sounds like important people to me. John Glacalone, predecessor to Steinbach, head of National Security Division.
You're fired.
James Turgle, assistant director.
See ya.
Greg Bauer.
Bye-bye.
Tricia Anderson.
Fired.
And Randy Coleman, assistant director of counterintelligence division.
Removed.
Removed. You're out of there. And like he was saying, reference, where'd it go?
How many years have we been doing that little skip there?
Right?
We're finally at the point. Like you talk about news unlocking the map, future proofs past, brothers and sisters. I mean, that was like when I saw that breaking news. I saw it last night too. Last night it was starting to drip out.
Yes.
John Sullivan and the boys dripping it out, leaking it out.
Okay, so let's go to that Papadopoulos interview because I got to get some water anyway. So watch this for a few minutes. Let's watch.
About 6 minutes worth.
Bannon. Yeah, be perfect. So we're gonna watch a little bit of Bannon and George Papadopoulos. You guys can see his face and hear what he has to say. And again, this full saga for anybody that knows the drops and the Spygate will help you all keep unraveling it. We'll be back in a minute, guys.
And Gateway Punt is spectacular. If Grace and Mo can get that up, I think that put that up on Getter early this morning. because there's been, I guess, a grand jury down there or something happening in Fort Pierce under this U.S. attorney that Mike Davis knows very well and so high on. But I think Brennan's lawyers already sent a letter saying, hey, we're going to be indicted, but we want this shifted to D.C. Is this grand jury that gets impaneled today, is that different than what's happened previously? And if it is, what is this grand jury going to do? And why is this such a big deal in taking down the deep state, sir?
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me, Steve. Look, since the inception of the America First movement, President Trump's objectives have always been to prioritize and safeguard the American people from threats, both domestic and foreign. You mentioned some of these foreign threats earlier in your show that the president has robustly responded to that were affecting not only our security, our economy, but our social cohesion as a nation. But the domestic threats are the most difficult and pernicious threats to the United States. And the key pillar of the America First movement has always been to drain the swamp and to clean out the deep state. President Trump tried to during his first term, as you well know, he was subverted from within. This time around, he has patriotic Americans in key positions that are willing and ready to go all the way. So what this grand jury is all about is separate than the grand juries that have recently indicted people like Comey. It was dismissed, but they're probably going to relitigate that situation. And what Brennan is trying to do here is he's trying to deflect and evade the grand jury that will likely indict him down in Florida. And he's trying to make some sort of argument that the judge is biased. It's in a jurisdiction that Judge Cannon was involved with, that this new judge there is going to be some sort of Trump ally. It's not going to work. And what FBI Director Kash Patel has laid out very eloquently, as has DNI Gabbard, is that the FBI, the DOJ, the DNI, and the CIA are all looking at a 10-year-long government conspiracy case in which they're likely going to look at RICO charges, look at the Democrat Party and the left as some sort of criminal organization writ large, and people like Brennan, Obama, Comey, and the upper echelons of the Democrat Party are all now in the crosshairs of this grand jury that will be impaneled just today.
So walk me through it. You're as close to this because you're one of the first guys they tried to break. Walk the audience through it. What are we talking? Let's go back to the beginning. When you talk about the deep state, and you talk about a conspiracy, essentially a coup, right? And Michael Schur, Dr. Michael Schur, who is the lead CIA investigator and analyst in the bin Laden situation, put up, I think, on Twitter, and the president of the United States reposted it, that there was a CIA coup on November 3rd of 2020. So this thing started back when they tried to roll you up in 2016. They tried to stop Trump from gaining the presidency. And then once he won coming from behind in 16 and shocked him, they then tried to destroy his administration. And this is one of my reasons saying he's not really running for a third term. He didn't really have a first term because they thwarted him. Then going to 2020, and their understanding they couldn't stop him, they essentially stole the election. So walk through what you think this grand jury is going to be looking at.
This was all about stopping an incipient populist, economic, nationalistic movement from ever becoming what it ended up becoming under the tutelage and leadership of President Trump and people like yourself who helped grow this into the massive movement that is now reverberating throughout the entire world. That's exactly why in 2016, where you had a completely different political environment, both domestically and internationally, including in the European Union, in Australia, in other countries. What I believe happened, and what I believe will be proven, is that there was an international effort, a weaponized effort by the CIA with the FBI and the Obama administration, utilizing some of these other foreign governments that had vested interests in an Obama third term, which would have been Hillary Clinton, that were then utilized to spy on the Trump campaign. And if Trump ended up winning, to then use people like Mueller and others to handcuff him and to destroy his administration from ever really taking off. This was all about basically destroying a movement before it could become what it did. Unfortunately for them, he won the last 3 elections. He survived 2 assassination attempts. He's on the war path right now, and the people in the positions of power are ready to take this all the way. And that's something that's diametrically different from his first term, where he didn't know DC, and the people in there were more likely to spy on him and to subvert him than to help him. And that's really why you have countries panicking all around the world, including the UK, some in Australia, about what this is really ultimately going to lead in terms of the United States relationship with some of these other countries, the oversight capabilities of Congress related to the CIA and the FBI. This is the most important investigation in modern American history, and it will have both domestic and global ramifications, Steve.
Are you talking about, George, I'm going to hold you. Are you talking about Five Eyes program? Those are the nations that we're talking about, the Five Eyes.
Let's go!
That's absolutely what I'm talking about. And that's why this is the most sensitive and scandalous situation that we have ever seen in modern American history. And when DNI Gabbard and President Trump calls this a treasonous conspiracy led by a former president, meaning President Obama, you don't use those type of words lightly. Those are not my words. Those are coming directly from the administration.
Chapter 115.
And treason implicates foreign governments attacking your government. That's exactly what happened here, Steve.
President Trump said that.
Oh, man, chapter 115 right there. We read it for you. It's in the Q drops. Everything that's coming out is in the Q drops. Everything. We have it all. Whew, I got chills. Yeah.
Been a long time coming, man. It's been, like you said, Tim, but this is what it's all been about. We're going to be validated every kind of way. All the bullshit we've had to take, all the freaking attacks, all the ridicule, all the suppression, all the censorship. And like even Johnny Come Late said, this channel is being suppressed. It must be too, you know, but it's all divine timing. But please keep sharing it out to your friends and family. Then we'll keep growing organically. That's how we're going to roll. And but also if it happened too soon, again, we would take it for granted. We wouldn't have learned our freaking lessons. We wouldn't have really got pushed to the precipice. Maybe some of us would have felt that way, but a lot of people wouldn't have felt this. And we got some more. We're gonna go through that crucible still, through the through the eye of the storm. There's gonna be more of that challenging. And some of you even might be getting triggered yourselves in different ways. Different stuff is getting turned up still in our lives, and I know, as we've talked about, some of these not so much on Q School, but like Empath, like I feel the collective. There's definitely this anger rising and this frustration, especially like in just how ridiculous all the different things are and how divisive. You got one side saying, I mean, this lady's insane and she tried to run him over. Another side's like, going hours on end and breaking this film down. Never to mention that, by the way, maybe you shouldn't fucking impede with federal officers who are doing their job, honestly, removing violent criminals, pedophiles, things like that. Do we have to go to the extreme? Do we have to go track down these ICE people that blow whistles and start calling them pedophile detectors? Put them out there. I don't know. I'm really confused and it's a bit frustrating. And then also to see like the same people that, although it's waking up, but sometimes you see your same friends and family, they're going all in on the fucking retard. And you're just like, what can I do? Like, sometimes that's a little frustrating, but that's why there'll also be this massive moment. And that's why it's going to be so big that we've been getting leaked this information and getting prepped. And if you want to call it a psych out or a deke, again, I hopped off the sidelines on April 4th, 2020, because I thought it was happening right there. I mean, we had photo evidence of the children being rescued in certain ways. And there was all these comms. And then also David Wilcock came forward. He's had good sources because he doesn't expose these people. Different high level people said this was happening. Clearly, then it was the white hats did this false leak, even for us anons, white hats, to get on board or other different reasons or test the public. And I say a bunch of times, I feel like I haven't said it months and months and maybe hardly at all on our new 5.0 Q School. But back in the day is what do you do before any military operation, especially a highly, highly, very, very important military operation? Well, you're going to run a drill over and over and over and over and over and over again. And that's what essentially I think how the Q drops were designed to, again, pump fake the anons, but also the deep state then would expend ammunition. So it's been this very beautiful duality and this orchestration, how these drops have flowed and the timing and the length that we've gone through, that we had to get triggered in certain ways, whether it's getting off the sideline and starting to participate because we think our family's not awake yet, or or what have you. Or some people are like, oh, the RV's coming. I'm just going to kick back and wait. And that was 2 years ago, right? 3 years ago. Now y'all kind of fucking don't know what to do. You're kind of sitting, puttering. That's why I encourage everyone to take small steps, like find your passion, step towards that, build the thing you want to build, do the thing you want to do, follow your passions, and just start taking steps. And Tim's talking about too, like the sovereignty, cut out these bills, cut out this bullshit, stop paying these assholes, right? And start making smart investments, take care of your health so that you're a true sovereign being. And y'all are starting to do that. And this is having that impact, but we got to keep moving forward through all this. What a ride, huh, brother?
Yeah, what a ride. Yeah, well said, well said. And don't forget, I mean, we are still at war. I mean, it's not finished yet. I mean, I'm so glad, like when we came up to the very first time on October 28th, as a matter of fact, which was our very first 8-year Delta. Remember our show on Q School when we talked about their 16-year plan versus our 16-year plan. That was we're at that 50-yard line on October 28th of 2025. We're now in 2026. We still got some time. We got some years ahead of us, but these are going to be the good years. This is the
fun ones.
This is where the stuff is actually going to come to fruition. We're going to see transparency. We're going to see these scumbags taken down according to the law. It has to be done right. It has to be done according to the law, and it's going to be done in stages. We have to get used to that. We have to be patient. That's, the pain. When we talk about pain is coming. Well, we've all lived through all that pain. The pain's not just for the deep state, for our enemies. The pain was for us too, and that's what toughened us up.
Right.
Because, if you're going to be patient in this movement, I mean, the whole world's changing. I mean, we've never been in a time such as this. We've never had this good versus evil battle so fucking exposed and right there in your face than this time in history, and we get to live through it. I mean, and yeah, we've gone through a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. We've lost a lot of family, friends, and literally speaking, I mean, there's been a lot of death, unfortunately, in this, and it is a war. And even Q says, people kill people. This is a war. Don't kid yourself. This is the real deal.
This is not a game. Also, right? We say that, shall we play a game? But that's a war game. And it's also, we also do have to laugh, but this is also very real. And then there can be some of that disillusionment. It was interesting because Professor Clements, when we had him on, shout out Professor Clements, love you, brother. Thank you for coming on. Love to have you on again. Was talking about, where was I going with this? What was I just saying?
It's not a game.
Oh yeah, the seriousness of this all is that, like, we could say that, okay, the movie, the disillusionment, like, is this a movie playing out? What's real? And I know all of us have probably had that. And I mean, I've been awake a long time, whatever you want to call that. But for years and years, I was like, I don't believe anything I see on TV or cameras or little, it's so easy to orchestrate stuff. I've almost been extreme on that. So I trust my intuition and discernment and stuff. But also we do almost get delusioned with this movie, like what's real, what's not. Now you got AI. It's like what never. And then we've actually seen that everywhere. Now the lines are so blurred, so confusing that it's odd. But then regardless, as if you realize we talk about a movie playing out, the war is very, very fucking real. Like Tim said, we've all lost everybody. Yes, there is these vaccines. Yes, there is these bioweapons. And again, it's still all your free will, right? And that's where Trump has to even actually sacrifice himself to the plan. No, Cindy's months or weeks back was, chiming in like, do something about warp speed, Operation Warp Speed. I'm not going to get in all that, but the point is that it's still your free will. And you also have to not, blindly trust anyone, whether it's Trump or anybody else. You got to trust yourself. And he kind of like takes that, there's all these other operational elements to the whole vaccine thing, but he also, the little endorsement was after everybody already decided, but you still got to have the mental wherewithal with like, I support Trump on this, and this, but on this, I'm not. That's not for me. You know what I mean? So we all have to learn through that on our journey. And we have, again, lost people, very, very real. Like whether it's even corrupt the medical system too, with the way they treat it, or we still got family that's having lots of cancer everywhere. I know plenty of people with cancer, especially since these jabs and stuff. But then, if they don't know any better, they're doing the bullshit poisoning thing instead of doing actual healing and treatment. So the war is real. And that's why we're also very passionate about what we're doing, because this is what they do, especially our children. Speaking of which, some people had a couple of great comments that, about this whole process. I just want to bring up a couple I saw. We haven't talked about this so directly so much, but then where did it get brought up? Because Scott brought up adrenochrome. I don't see where that original one was. Scott was bringing that up, and there people were talking about, here we go. people. Scott, thank you, brother. By the way, shout out for all your love and support of the Q School family with us. Tippy top. People still need to know about adrenochrome. I'm so glad to be awake. God has made this information easier to intake. And like Cindy was saying, if you guys understand this topic, Scott, I agree. If I was to learn all this at one time, my brain would blow up. And I understand that for our friends and family. They've been deeper asleep, in different ways. So there was a great analogy I just saw recently. It was like, if you try to, like coax a butterfly out of their shell too soon, you'll kill it or you'll destroy it. Like it has to hatch.
That's why they're using the retards right now on the streets.
Exactly. That's why the movie is really there to challenge and trigger. It's going to trigger people. And the longer they hold on to their beliefs, to their ego, the more challenging situations they're going to have to deal with.
The local corruption is a big one too, because locally now people are really waking up to their local corruption now, because it's all coming out in these stages, bit by bit. And people are getting fear, and now they're going to start researching on the stuff that we researched on so long ago, Scott, just like Brother Scott.
Yes.
And all our brothers and sisters in this movement. I mean, yes, we are well informed, well educated, and well researched. I mean, we've paid the price. I mean, we've been doing this for I've been doing it almost 6 years now, full time, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And I love where I am in this movement, because I can help others. And others can help me, because, we're on different, like, even though we're all in it together, no one's above the other. The learning curve is we're all on different levels, different stages of the journey. And it's information warfare. It's spiritual warfare. And we're going to get into the spiritual warfare next here. And we're probably going to go a little bit overtime, it looks like.
Yeah, but, hour and a half. We've been flying, man. I feel this is like the shortest hour and a half I've ever felt before. Holy shit. I mean,
I have enough information and diggers. We could have done a 17-hour Q school today. Yeah.
I love it every time you say that. There's a great comment. This is the one I was really looking for, because this explains, again, what we've all gone through. And again, that specific topic that Scott was talking about and how that's playing out for our friends and family. But absolutely, Scott, I found out early 2019. My daughter sent me an article. I called BS. She sent me 2 more articles. At a point, I lost it. I was angry and destroyed by it. And then she follows up with another great thing, though. She said, and then at that point, I've been in the fight, lost everybody around me, didn't accept it at first, but I dug into it. How can you know after hearing that, or not know? I mean, how do you step away? I mean, like
the toothpaste came out of the tube for you, sister.
It did. And that's what.
Yeah, like what's that old saying I used to close Q school with? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you feel it, you can't unfeel it. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, and as Q says, the choice to know will always be yours. You have the choice. You can stay in the fight and learn more and become a patriot, a fighter, a warrior, spiritually and informationally wise, or you can step aside. And a lot of people have taken breaks, even including myself. Kyle's taken a break. I've taken breaks, and it's all different times. And don't forget, Q has also said, when one falls, another rises.
Yes.
And we've been this whole movement's been really good at that too, because there has been people that have had to take breaks. You had to step away from it for a little while. It just becomes overwhelming sometimes. Yeah. And sometimes you go through the process where you think nobody in the whole world listening to you. It's like, hello, can anybody hear me? I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like we've gone through all those hills and valleys and the ups and downs and all around. And Kyle said sometimes it's good to laugh a little bit, like
you have to, I think you have to, you know what I mean? That's why we have the memes. That's why we have the memes in our community. And like Chump said, what was really special to see about when one falls, no one steps up, for myself, especially, I'm that type of guy, just like Tim. We put everything on our shoulders and we're just like, I can carry it. For a while we were doing Q School. We had our own channel 7 days a week. You know what I mean? Like our own channel would be 2, 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes.
And then the pup project was like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, man. It was on the clock for real.
Yeah. So what's really special for me in that when
23 weeks pain.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. And that's special for me. And that was after all of our years of shows too. But what was for me is to see that if I did step aside, it actually allowed other people to rise up. That was really cool and empowering. Yes. And then like then I felt like almost emotional because I'm like, dude, we really have this army of people that like, and then that's where so many people, I can't turn off the news for one day. I might miss something. Always trust too. You're going to be in the right place at the right time. I like to say that too as a good affirmation. I'm at the right place at the right time with the right people, at the right place, the right time with the right people, the right place, the right people. So expect that. And then, trust you're not going to miss anything though, right? So you're not going to miss anything. So if you need to step away, just step away. And sometimes just a day, sometimes or 2 days, and like turn the phone off, like go to the lake if you can find someplace warm in the winter here, or just totally unplug, and you'll feel totally rejuvenated. And then you find out everyone's still posting the reels and doing the memes and waking people up and doing the things. You're like, fuck yeah, you know what I mean? Like, some people may miss you or whatever. It's not really important. You're like, wow, I just step right back in. And it's like this army, this unstoppable movement. And that's why we say nothing can stop what's coming.
I love it. Well said. Yeah. And it's like the wheel of justice, it turns slow, but once it starts turning, it's 10 times faster. And we're in that stage right now. And like I said, we still have to be prepared for the long run. We still got a long ways to go, but we're in the process of taking our power back, taking our countries back. You're seeing it in Iran. You've already seen it occurring in Venezuela. You're seeing it obviously in the United States of America and other countries too. I mean, like people around the world are freaking waking up. And this cabal, this machine, these psychopaths, these big elephants in the room, everybody's taking their own bites at these elephants, and those elephants are coming down every single minute of every single day. Everybody's taking their little bites, bite here, bite there, or every day you're poking the all-seeing eye. Fuck you, we're all taking turns around the world doing this, and they're being pounded right now. They're not only cornered, a corner dangerous animal. They're being pounded upon. They're being attacked by so many different people, so many different angles right now. They got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and the end is near. The end for them, and the new beginning for us is right around the corner, folks. It really is. But around the corner means probably the next decade. It's going to take.
But it'll be more fun, like Tim said. When you gotta lay the groundwork, and we're talking like in game, guys. But yeah, absolutely. But we're gonna have a lot of fun. It's getting exciting, as you guys can see.
Yeah.
So here we go. Let's ride the wave.
So let's go to the next phase of this. This is a big one too, and this is going to be maybe somewhat of a gut punch for some people out there. And this is the religious part. This is the biblical. When Q says it's going to be biblical, we're talking about a silent enemy embedded within, invited in, and this has been going on for decades, folks. And actually, it's been going on for fucking centuries, thousands of years, as a matter of fact. This is the ultimate good versus evil battle. And we have another enemy that we need to be very concerned about. Steve Bannon's really bringing it forefront. Like I said, starting tonight at 6 o'clock, Monday through Friday, they're going to be focusing on what's been happening, the infestation of Muslim Brotherhood in Texas, but it's happening in other areas too. If you're in a certain area and you can see the buildup of it, I've seen it in my child, Matthew Q's daycare center. I yanked him out of this past June, or last June, I should say. Never went back. He's not going back because I could see it. I didn't know what it was about, but it irked my spirit, didn't feel good. But now that I'm doing my homework, I'm going, oh, thank God, Tim, that you followed your gut, your research, your intuition, I followed my spirit, and I had to pull him out. And I haven't been back since. He's not going back. I'm not going back to work until this is all done. Once this is all done, they'll feel a lot better, a little more comfortable with the situation. But this next video we're going to play for you, the gentleman's name, he's from the Netherlands. His name is Geert Wilders. And once you see him, you might have seen him before, maybe you haven't, but definitely you can. He's got a few other videos, and they go back many, many years. He did some stuff back in 2012. There was one, he was in Texas, as a matter of fact, 10 years ago, and there was a shooting. They tried to assassinate him back then, and the two assassins were gunned down by an off-duty police officer who, obviously in Texas, you don't want to mess with your Texans because they're all loaded, right? But anyway, that's in the news. You can look that up. But he was there because they were trying to take him out. And he explains a little bit of that. But he's going to explain how evil this ideology is, and how sneaky they are about it. And so, Kyle, if you don't mind, we should play probably most of it, if you don't mind. I know he speaks for about 35 minutes because, I mean, it's very powerful. And I think everybody on our channel will appreciate knowing this information that he's about. And this was from Friday night. This was his speech Friday night. And he's done many over the last 20 years in different areas around the world. But anyway, I've got that. If you're ready to go, maybe let's give it a click. Let's watch it. Take some notes, folks. And then I'll show you the when it's all said and done, I'll bring up the 2 videos and where to find them on YouTube for you so you can do your future homework, because the other guy busts it down. He busts down the Quran. It's all a hoax. It's all a scam, but it is evil. It has been twisted and turned on purpose to take down countries, folks, and they're going after ours.
Okay, so let's check out Gert here on Rumble Studios.
Yeah, put on the full armor God while you're listening to this, folks, because some of it is he gets right into it.
Okay, here we go.
Where's my friend? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear friends, patriots, and defenders of the West. A very happy new year from Europe to you all. And indeed, it's an honor for me to be back in the United States again, and in Dallas especially, the heart of the Lone Star State, as we just remembered. I actually really do love Texas. Have been here many, many times, and among so many brave patriots, the air smells like freedom. Please keep it like that. I want to thank my dear friend and ally, Karen Ziegemund, for the very kind words, and together with many others, for bringing us together this evening in the Sanctuary of Truth. I also salute Steve Bannon. Where's Steve Bannon? Where is he sitting? Steve, I always respected Steve a lot. I always think of him as a man who sees the battlefield as clearly as any of your best generals in history. Steve Bannon, thank you so much. And I thank you all, the brave men and women of Texas, for being here. We need you. America needs you. The world needs you more than ever. My friends, let us not beat around the bush. We are not here only to trade pleasantries. We are here because our home, your home, is under attack. Your culture is under siege. We are in a civilizational and extensional struggle for the very survival of our Western values. Our way of life is being marked for destruction by those who hate the concept of freedom. Barely 2 weeks ago, right here in the great state of Texas, the FBI arrested, as you all know, a 20-year-old ISIS terrorist who was planning a bombing to bring the slaughter of the Middle East to your streets again. And at this very moment, as we are having dinner here, Islamic jihadis are plotting against you, here and all over the United States. They are not coming, they are already here. They have unpacked their bags, set up their sails, and are walking your streets. Islamic radicals have declared war on you. And listen to what they are saying. I just took a few examples. I could give you 100 examples. I chose a few. Like Uthman ibn Farouk, a Pakistani-born Californian who was recently speaking in Texas. And he said, the future is ours. America will be a Muslim country. Islam will enter every house. We are unapologetic. We are uncompromising. And listen to a sheikh at a Muslim conference here in America. He told his audience, Islam has a political mandate so that you can rule the society in which you find yourself. And sometimes you have to burn it down before you can rebuild. And we are at a moment of reckoning. We have to introduce an attitude of power. And in Michigan, Imam Isa Abdul Karim spoke in the same vein at the lecture in Detroit a few weeks ago. And he said, Muslims do not fear death. And he said it to explain why they do not fear to blow themselves up. And he said, this gives us power over them. And in Florida, a few weeks ago, another imam said, jihad is who we are. And my message to you, my dear friends, is please listen to these people. Heed their words. Do not make the fatal mistake many German Jews made in the 1930s by thinking they are just exaggerating for effect. Those people do not speak in metaphors. They mean every word they tell you. Take them literally. Because if you don't, this is what's going to happen. They will, and I'm not exaggerating, they will burn down your society. They will blow up themselves in the middle of your streets. These radicals hate America. They do not want to join the American dream. They want to end it. That's their agenda. My friends, over 2,700 mosques have already been built in the United States, including 300 right here in Texas. And every one of those minarets is a claim of territory. And every call to prayer is a signal of conquest. Dozens of new mosques are being built every year, and not as a simple house of prayer as we know it, but as a symbol of Islam's triumph and the rest retreat. And I ask you, how did this all get here? They entered, I'm afraid to say, through your front door. But who held this door open? The radical left. The radical left, including your president, your former president, Obama, did that. The woke elites who hate their own heritage more than they love their own freedom. They have formed a suicide pact with Islam. They have invited the wolf into the nursery and told the children to be tolerant. They have taught your children to be ashamed of their history while welcoming those who want to end it. As Charlie Kirk rightfully said, and I quote Charlie, Islam is the sword the left is using to slit the throat of America. And the same goes for the leftist politicians in Europe. I wish this year, 2026, to be a year with fewer Islamic atrocities. I wish for a year with fewer slit throats and fewer grieving families. But wishes are not a strategy, and hope is not a defense. For that to happen, this year must be a year of action. It must be a year of courage. It must be a year where our leaders find the strength to acknowledge that Islam is not only totally incompatible with our Western civilization and our Christian values, but it's the single biggest threat to our survival. And we have no alternative than to act to stop it. And why is this the defining struggle of our age, some people ask me. And that is because Islam is incompatible with the very DNA of a free society. You cannot mix Sharia law with the Constitution. You cannot mix the subjection of women with the equality of men. You cannot mix the light of liberty with the change of submission. You have to choose. You have to choose liberty or change. And my friends, Islam is a totalitarian political ideology demanding nothing less than the total submission of the world. It's the system where dissent is blasphemy and liberty is a sin. It kills and destroys. We are a civilization that cherishes and worships life. Islam loves death. And that is why you must stop the Islamization of your great country, America. You must avoid the catastrophic mistake we, unfortunately, in Europe made. And Vice President G.D. Vance was so right when he said in Munich almost a year ago that Europe opened the floodgates to millions of unvetted immigrants. And let me add that most of those immigrants to Europe came and come from Islamic nations from the Middle East and Africa. Please don't follow the European example, which is suicidal. You must stand up to your own politicians, to your own political leaders, and tell them no more. America will not bow. Taxes will not surrender. Not today, not tomorrow, never. As I said, in Europe, we are living through a tragedy of our own making. The European political elite was so tolerant that they tolerated the end of their own culture. They were so open-minded that their brains fell out of their head. They allowed Islam to almost extinguish the 7 lights of our Judeo-Christian civilization: freedom, safety, identity, prosperity, integrity, justice, and sovereignty. The lights of freedom were the first to go out. Look at me, and I'm just an example. For over 21 years, I have lived in a bubble of security. Together with my wife, Christina, sitting here on the table, we lived in safe houses. We lived in prison cells, not as being as prisoners, but just to stay alive. We traveled in armored cars. We have only 24/7 police protection. I could continue like that. But the real question is, what was our crime? What would we do to deserve this? What does anybody do who deserves this? And the answer is that I made a short movie about the Quran. I wrote a book about Islam. And I spoke and I speak the truth about Islam and Muhammad, a 17th century warlord who founded an evil doctrine called submission. For that is what the Arab word Islam literally means, submission. I got several fatwas from Pakistani imams and mullahs who pronounced them against me, urging the faithful to kill me. They sent me thousands of death threats, and the Taliban, ISIS, and even Al-Qaeda put me on their death list. But I will tell you, I will never, ever let them silence me. Never. Thank you.
Test, Tim. You still want to keep going with his speech there? Just checking in with you, brother.
Yeah. Let it rip, brother.
All right.
The truth is, however, that over 1 billion people in the world follow Islam. And most of them actually do not truly know what it really stands for. But the minority, hundreds of millions of Muslims that do understand, have been so poisoned by this doctrine that they find it acceptable to use violence in the sake of their ideology. Violence for the sake of their ideology has a name. It is called jihad, holy war. Muhammad himself said that jihad is an Islamic religious duty. And 200 years ago, John Quincy Adams, your 6th president, warned, and I quote, that the precept of the Quran is perpetual war against all who deny that Muhammad is the prophet of God, end of quote. And that is true today as it was then. I came to Dallas 10 years ago to award a prize to the winner of a Muhammad art contest in Garland. I came to defend your First Amendment, a freedom we in Europe had already lost by then. And shortly, you might remember, before the exhibition ended, 2 Islamic jihadis stormed the building. It was 2015 and the first ISIS attack on American soil, here in Texas. They shot an unarmed security guard in the ankle before being shot themselves by a brave off-duty traffic cop who, thanks to your Second Amendment, was able to defend the First. So again, America, I tell you, if you fail to make a stand against Islamic moral radicalism and jihadism, if you fail to stop it from expanding on American soil, you will end up just like Europe. In our once free and once safe continent, we are being inundated by Islam today. Freedom of speech in Europe is already gone. Islamic radicals can say whatever they want. They can preach hate in our town squares. But ordinary Europeans who dare to criticize Islam or complain about becoming a minority in our own neighborhood, village or city are dragged to court. In Europe, the truth is now a crime. And you can be sent to prison for the words you speak. Look at a 20-year-old young woman called Maya from Hamburg in Germany. She called a rapist of a 15-year-old girl a disgraceful pig. And while the rapist himself got a suspended sentence, she was sentenced to a jail sentence. It's incredible, but it happened. My friends, the second light that Islam extinguished is the light of safety. In almost every, and again, I'm not exaggerating, in almost every major city in whole Western Europe, whenever you take a metro or a train, whenever you visit a festival, a market or a fair, you run the risk of being hacked to pieces by men eager to establish the Islamic Caliphate. We had numerous of those attacks in Europe. Our cities have become combat zones. Last month only, 4 Islamic plots were foiled in Germany, Poland, and my own Netherlands. All across Europe, Christmas fairs were once again met with concrete barriers around public markets. New Year's Eve turned European cities in combat zones, where non-Western immigrants besieged the police with fireworks. In Paris, the government was too afraid to even hold its traditional open-air New Year's concert. It is getting worse every day. And always the same type of perpetrators, adhering to the same so-called religion. Always the same mantra from the authorities who claim that this has nothing to do with Islam. The harder the murderers shout Allahu Akbar, the harder the political elites shout nothing to do with Islam. And then Islam has a word for those elites. It calls them dhimmis. I don't know if you know the word dhimmi, but dhimmi is the Arabic word for a non-Muslim, usually a Christian or a Jew, who is temporarily tolerated by Islam because he has submitted to it without converting. Submission, remember, is all what Islam is about. And how does a dhimmi react to jihad? By cowering to Islam and lying about its true nature. Like the Australian Prime Minister Tony Albanese did after the Bondi Beach massacre in Australia. He called it a radical perversion of Islam. It was, of course, a terrible and despicable lie. What happened at Bondi Beach is not a radical perversion of Islam, it is core Islam and Jew hatred. Dr. Bill Warner, one of your American academia, taught us in his studies that there actually is more Jew hatred in the Quran than in Hitler's Mein Kampf. My friends, if you want to remain safe, once again, stop Islam. The third light Islam extinguishes is the light of the Christian identity. Islamic mass immigration is erasing Europe's soul. Millions of young men from cultures that despise us are today colonizing our streets. The European Union hates borders and that place their Islam in its hands. And open borders facilitate what Islam calls hijrah, al-hijrah, the Islamic duty to immigrate and conquer. And by 2050, the Islamic population will be 30% in Sweden, 20% in Germany, France and the United Kingdom, and well over 15% in Norway, Denmark, and the Netherlands. Currently, in my own country, the Netherlands, Islam today is already the largest religion amongst people under the age of 25. It will be the largest religion overall in 25 years' time from now. In 2050, in the Netherlands, there will be more Muslims than Christians, and such a country will no longer be Holland. It will be Hollandistan. Our Dutch identity, if we do nothing, will be gone, just like that of France, Germany, Britain, Italy, and all the other great nations of Europe. If you don't protect your countries, you are in the country, you are a parking lot for the third world, with an Islamic Trojan horse in the middle of it. Your identity is your armor. Once you let them strip it from you, you are defenseless. The fourth light that goes out is the light of prosperity. Winston Churchill called Islam the strongest retrograde force in the world, and he was right. Europe has been caught in a retrograde spiral since Islam entered. In the Netherlands, more than half of all welfare benefits are consumed by non-Western immigrants that overwhelmingly come from Islamic countries. And every single asylum seeker in Holland cost the Dutch taxpayer nearly $1 million per person. Islam calls that jizya, the tax infidel pay to be tolerated. But it drains the livelihood of our economies. We are bankrupting our children to pay for the loss of our own identity. And your country is learning this too. Look at all these Somali fraudsters in Minnesota, plundering, what was it, $9, $10, $11 billion from your social security. They are looting the treasure that your grandparents built for you, and they are using it to finance your destruction. And I ask you, it's just a suggestion, why don't you all denaturalize all the Somali fraudsters and send them packing out of your country? Thank you. That is exactly what should happen. If we don't deal with it in the most toughest way, they will repeat it and repeat it. According to official figures, half of the suspects in the Netherlands of sexual crimes, such as rape, are of foreign descent. Specific groups, such as Syrians, Afghanis, Iraqis, and again Somalis, are to 35 times more likely to be involved in sexual offenses than the native Dutch people. And we all know that Muhammad raped a young girl called Aisha and gave sex slaves as gifts to his henchmen. No wonder, since he's such a holy person for Islam, that his followers believe, many of his followers believe, that they can treat our women as sex slaves. So the honor of our women is under siege again. And I can tell you that every parent in Western Europe worries if their daughter cycling home will be safe coming home. In our cities, in our small villages, everywhere. Look at 17-year-old Lisa from my country, murdered on her way home from school by an illegal Nigerian. Or look at the 10-year-old girl raped in Ireland by an African asylum seeker. Or look at Austria, where 11 immigrants aged 16 to 21 were on trial last year for abducting a 12-year-old girl and sexually abusing her for a 4-month period. And let us not forget the English grooming scandal. For 30 years, thousands of non-Islamic girls were forced into sex by gangs of Pakistanis. And British dhimmified, they were really dhimmis, dhimmified police refused to act for fear of being called racist. And when one brave young working-class Englishman stood up for those girls, he was hunted by the state. But he Tommy Robinson is a hero because he dared to speak and act. The sixth light that is extinguished is the light of justice. If a criminal an Islamic and a victim an infidel, how do you think our courts in Europe react? Last October, a Swedish court refused to deport Yazid Mohammed, a 20-year-old Eritrean who had raped a 16-year-old girl. And the judge considered that the Eritrean, and it's literally true, had not raped his Swedish girl and victim long enough. And last November in France, a court reduced the sentence of an Islamic teen who, together with two others, had gang raped a 12-year-old Jewish girl for the sole reason that she was Jewish. And the court trimmed the teen's jail sentence to facilitate, and I quote, his future reintegration in our society. And on March 17 last year, the European Court of Human Rights actually created a right of return for deported criminals. So even in Europe, when our most worst leftist government kicked the worst criminals out, the woke judges invite them back. And that kind of judges, my friends, are today in Europe internalizing Sharia law. They are more worried about the human rights of the criminal than of the life of the victim. We are witnessing the moral collapse of our legal system. Justice delayed is justice denied, but justice Islamicide is not justice at all. Let me tell you one thing. Sharia law is evil. Nothing else than pure 100% evil. So, if you want to save the rule of law, stop the tide of Islamization. My friends, the mayor of Amsterdam is one of those leftist politicians siding with Islam. She fears the Islamic vote. She sacrificed her sovereignty of the altar of fear, political correctness and democratic shift. They all want to save the Ummah, the worldwide Islamic community. You remember, that's why I'm saying this, that Jews were chased in Amsterdam 1.5 years ago by Islamic thugs. They were beaten up, thrown in the canals, knocked over on purpose by scooters and cars. And the thugs were aided by immigrant taxi drivers, while the police was absent. They are all, also some politicians in your country, they are all those weak politicians are feeding the crocodile, hoping it will eat them last. But dimitude is just one stage before being eaten yourself. They think they can manage Islam. They think they can tame it, but they are wrong. Islam does not want a seat at the table. It wants to own the table. And sovereignty is the right for us to say no to Islam without exception. My friends, the seven lights, unfortunately, almost have all gone out in Europe. And I'm sure you don't want it to happen in America too. But do not think that you are safe. You already had 9/11. The United States today are the next on the menu of the crocodile. Islam has already arrived on your shores, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. The lights of freedom, safety, identity, prosperity, integrity and justice are under attack here too. They want to build, can you imagine, an Islamic city in Josephine, 40 miles from here. Stop them. Please, stop them. Next to the Texas capital in Austin, a huge Islamic center linked to the Muslim Brotherhood is being built with Saudi money. Please stop them. Stop them. But look in other parts of America. Look at Minnesota, where Somalis are taken over and have elected Ilhan Omar to the US Congress. She sneers at the country that gave her refuge and a passport and brags about advancing a Somalia interest in Congress. Look at Dearborn, Michigan, the first Islamic majority city in the US, where Mayor Abdullah Hammoud told a non-Islamic citizen of a city who objected to naming a street in honor of a jihadist, he said to him, "You are an Islamophobe, move out of here." Look at New York City, where the newly elected mayor, Zohran Mamdani, took his oath on the Quran, the book of hate. He refuses even to condemn the jihadist phrase, globalize the intifada, and wants to take down the statue of Christopher Columbus. My friends, they want to erase your history so they can replace it with theirs. They want to take down your statues, rename your streets, and put up their crescents. They want you to be a stranger in your own land of birth. They want you to apologize for being American. And I ask you, are you going to do that? Good for you. My friends, there is still hope for America. I see hope in the governor, Greg Abbott. He did what every European leader should have done decades ago. He designated not only CARE, but also the Muslim Brotherhood a forest terrorist entity. And he deserves a big applause for doing that. I see hope here because I read that there is now a Sharia-free America caucus in your House of Representatives. And that's a very good thing to happen. But most of all, I see hope in your great president, Donald J. Trump. He permanently paused migration from third world nations. Immigration from many non-Western Islamic countries are fully or partially banned by him. And President Trump, as one of the few leaders in the world, understands that if you don't love America, you don't belong in America.
Hear, 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 hear.
I was honored to meet President Trump last year in The Hague, where he attended the NATO summit. And he told me, keep going, defend your country, defend your civilization, be tough on immigration. Thank you, Mr. President. And I tell you, my friends, the day the British and the Dutch, the French and the German leaders adopt your president's braveness and tough immigration policy, Europe's predicament will be over. We need more leaders who love their own people more than they love the praise of the globalist media. We need men of courage, lots of them. And I see hope in you too. You, the American patriots, who know that the worst thing imaginable is to die as a coward in the land of Islam. Do not allow Islamic radicalism turning the lights of Western civilization in America. Never hand your country over. After 250 years of independence and freedom to Islamic totalitarianism. Never allow the followers of Muhammad to turn your great country in Americanistan just like they already have turned large part of Europe into Eurabia. But my friends, of course, there is also hope in Europe too. I am certainly not the only patriot in Europe. I am not the last man standing. I represent a multitude of great men and politicians, men and women in our old continent where Western civilization started. Like-minded parties in other countries as mine stand for the same principles. We are hated by many of the dhimmis, many of the ruling elite because we refuse to submit. Last year, a court in France used the pretext of party staffers working in the long location to bar Marine Le Pen, France's most popular politician and maybe future president, from running in the next presidential election. In Germany, where the patriotic AfD, Alternative für Deutschland, party has become, since a few weeks, the largest political party in the polls, there is a serious possibility that the party will be banned. And in the Netherlands, our political opponents are considering introducing legislation to prohibit my party as well, because its organizational structure differs from that from other parties. My friends, we try hard to ensure Western survival. And I will end up with a short 7-point plan, what I propose that we all should do. First, we must stop pretending, number one, that Islam is merely a religion because it's a totalitarian ideology. Very important. And let me add, maybe not everybody agrees with me, but still I want to say it, that there are moderate Muslims. Fortunately, there are many moderate Muslims. Not all Muslims are radical, but there is no moderate Islam. So please stop talking about radical Islam, because it's a stupid pleonasm. You have moderate and radical Muslims, but there is only one Islam, and that is the Islam from the Quran, from the Hadith, from all the terrible things that Islam produced. Two, we must act and de-Islamize our country. So I would say close all those hate factories that they call Islamic schools, where children are taught that we are filthy infidels. Two, close radical mosques. Forbid new ones, for Islam regards them as symbols of triumph. Prevent any new cities of profit on Western soil. Prohibit Saudi, Qatari or any other funding from radical Islamic countries and projects from them in the West. Ban the Muslim Brotherhood and other radical organizations. Very important as well is to finally stop Islamic immigration. Hijrah is the most important instrument. So I tell you, close the floodgates. No more immigration from Islamic countries as from today. Deport all illegal immigrants. Demand that immigrants assimilate or leave our countries. Ban Sharia law. If you love the Quran, more than the Constitution, we'll send you back to the desert tomorrow. And strip dual nationals of their Western nationality if they commit crimes, if they act against our laws, if they wage jihad. Send them back to the country of their other nationality. No mercy for criminals or jihadis. And then I would add, proposed it in Holland, I don't know whether it's popular here or not, but I believe you can only be loyal to one nation. So do not allow people with a dual nationality to assume political office.
Hear, hear.
And of course, defend our roots. Our roots are built on the heritage of Jerusalem, Athens and Rome. We owe nothing to Islam. We should reject all forms of cultural relativism. We should not be afraid to say that our Christian Judeo-Western culture is far superior to the barbaric culture of Islam. And of course, fight for freedom. The great Ronald Reagan said that freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. Understand, please, and I'm sure you do, that freedom is not a gift, but a conquest. It must be actively fought for by all of us. It should be protected. It should be passed on to other generations, or else it will be lost. And we should rally around our flags. The flags is our home. It represents the sacrifices of the fallen and the hopes of the unborn. Long live the stars and stripes. Long live the Dutch tricolor. May they always wave over us as free countries. And more to Europe than to you, especially to Europe, guarantee freedom of speech, the most important right underpinning democracy. We in Europe should have a First Amendment. Spread the message. Another request I have to you. Speak the truth. Don't be afraid. Without the truth, we are already slaves. The truth is the only real weapon that can shatter the dark walls of jihad. Boycott media platform that censors people for telling the truth about Islam. Reject the cancel culture. Repeal all hate speech laws. In Canada, Australia, in Europe, withdraw them. My friends, with this program, we will turn the lights of civilizations back on. A full stop of the Islamization of our societies is the blueprint for our survival and freedom. And we will be victorious, and we will have the moral courage to speak the truth. Because we say, no more evil, no more anti-Semitism, no more terror, no more killings, no more hatred, no more Islam. Enough is enough. We are the forces of light. We defend the light of the world. And we will beat together the forces of darkness. As St. Paul wrote, and I quote St. Paul, our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the rulers of the world and the spirit of wickedness in high places, end of quote.
That's in the key drop.
We do not hate Muslims. We are fighting only flesh. We are fighting not flesh and blood. We fight a dark ideology that enslaves the mind and extinguishes the human spirit, and the name of that ideology is Islam. And we know, all here sitting together, that if we are brave, if we do our civic duty, and it is not easy, I know that, it is not easy, but we have no alternative. If we do that, we will win. Because we know that the principalities and powers indeed can be toppled, that the rulers of the world, if they are not right, can be defeated, and that the demification in high places can and must end. The West, my friends, has repulsed the Islamic tide before. And by the grace of God and the strength of our own will, we will do it again. This is our duty. And we will not fail. We will not falter. We will never, ever give up. We will stand and fight, and we will win. Thank you. Long live Texas. Long live the United States. And long live the Netherlands. Thank you very much.
Ended that like a Trump speech there. Never, ever give in. Never back down. Never, ever give up.
Never, never, never. Thanks for playing that, Kyle. I know a lot of people missed that on Friday night, and that's the third time I've watched it because we did play it on Boots on the Ground. I think it was Saturday. But if you go into Diggers, just show everybody the next two videos to go search for. We'll give you a little heads up. There's two parts, session 1 and session 2, Dismantling Islam by Jay Smith. And go to the 6-minute mark on that one. Just play it for about 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes, so you get to see who he is. He's very, very highly educated. This is the fellow that has his platform set up in New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico is where he does his teachings. He's been doing this for well over 20, I think around 28 years. But he breaks down the Quran, and he debunks the whole ideology and how evil it really was and how twisted and warped it is. And the followers of it, a lot of his battles over the last 28 years has been turning these so-called Muslims that preach Muhammad and all this stuff. He basically turns them inside out and upside down in an instant because they can't refute his evidence. And he goes like into major detail in such a fashion that it will blow your minds, because I had no idea that it was that much of a farce, that much of a lie to the world.
Okay, yeah. So here's this the YouTube channel here. Here's again. It's Dismantling Islam with Jay Smith. You'll see the YouTube channel. There's session 1, session 2. So click the links there. We got that on Diggers, and then the channel, the YouTube channel looks like this Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills. But Dismantling Islam session 1 should be able to find it. So we'll pop in here just for a couple minutes so you guys can hear it.
Yep.
One of the reasons I'm here today is because back in September, before the atrocities of October the 7th, I was here to do a Wednesday night. And at that time, we wanted to introduce this new historical material that seems like no one's ever seen or no one's ever heard, though we've been working with it for over 25 years. Actually, 28 years I've been working with it. And then, of course, the atrocities happened on October the 7th, and you know the rest of the story. But to understand what was happening or what was going on in the minds of those men who were coming in and attacking the Jews so barbarically, and to understand why all over the world and there were Muslims who were going to the streets and praising those attacks. To understand that, and here's where many Americans are having a difficulty, you need to go back really to just this book right here. This is it. It's all right here. How many of you have read this book in English? Just raise your hands. Very few of you. And that's the problem. You're not going to understand the mindset of Islam until you read their revelation. This is their eternal revelation. This is the revelation that every Muslim must follow, whether they are radical or nominal, possibly not the liberals, but 99.9% of all Muslims follow this book. But the vast majority of Muslims don't read this book. Because in order to read it, you have to do it in Arabic, and only 15% of Muslims speak Arabic. It's the radicals over here who are the ones who are reading this book. And they're reading it in Arabic, and they understand it in Arabic. And they're the ones who are actually finding verse after verse after verse. Like chapter 9, verse 5, slay the unbeliever wherever ye find them, besiege them, lay in wait for them with every kind of ambush. There's no diktat of who you're to slay. It says, slay the unbelievers. That's everybody that's not a Muslim. Chapter 9, verse 29, in more specific, make war on the Al-Kitab. That would be the people of the book. That's us. They're to make war upon us. Chapter 8, verse 60, use any steeds of war to cause terror in the heart. They're to use terror. Chapter 8, verse 39, slay the unbeliever until there is no more fitna, no more unbelief, and all believe in Allah. So these are general categories with general applications for all Muslims and all believers, the unbelievers, that's us. Can you see then why those who are reading this book are doing what they're doing? Chapter 47, verse 1, 2, and 3 defines who a believer is, a Muslim believer is, and who an unbeliever is. And then verse 4 says, cut off the heads of the unbelievers. Were you wondering why ISIS was doing just that? Chapter 5, verse 33. For those who do not follow Allah or His Prophet, crucify them and cut off their hands and feet from opposite ends. Remember ISIS doing that in Syria? And yet everybody thought this was just barbarism. No, it's not barbarism for the Muslim who follows this book. You've got to read the book. Now, would we not say the same thing as Christians? To know who we believe, to know what we're to do, what do? We read a better book. You notice? A bigger book. I keep it bigger for a reason. The bigger, the better book. And when Jack Hibb comes up here, does he not have this book in his hand? Please say yes. Does he not open it and read it? Please say yes. Does he not exegete it for you? And can you read it in your own
Good,
tongue?
Kyle.
Yeah, that was
That's
great.
a good little opener for
That's
everybody.
Jay Smith. Is that Jay Smith or who's that guy on there?
That's Jay Smith, yeah.
Yeah.
And that little book he was holding up is the Quran, just so you guys know. And this is the spiritual war. This is the battlefield of the spiritual. Learning who your enemy is, and between that speech that we watched with Gert Wilders, and now if you guys take the time and go watch session 1 and session 2 with Jay Smith, you'll be well versed. You'll well understand what we're up against and what we have been up against for a long time, and which DJT 41020Q Plus is already aware of. And that is what I think in the Q drops, part of the silent enemy.
Yeah, that's the we are at war with the at. I even want to show that one real quick here. I want to do different. Those would be tomorrow's deltas. Also, why we part of what I was did with the title there. But we go to tomorrow's deltas. Some juicy posts there. Actually, quite a few of them. But this one here, and cool story about this one. Again, we'll talk about this tomorrow. This is tomorrow's Delta, January 13th, Q drop 521. We are fighting for life. We are fighting for good. We are at war with at. I think that's everything. Like, that's invisible enemy because it's just at. Who are we at war with? Right there. I never thought of that. That's kind of signaling invisible enemy. You also got the social media channels, as I said, and all the other, creeps in the fake news media and stuff too. And we had something else here too. I just saw the article you dropped, Tim. I don't think we have much time to cover a whole lot, but I saw the kid where it was the video game that was teaching about the Islam. Where's that at? Did I miss that? Must be up.
I don't know, but I put that at the very bottom of Diggers. If you can show right there, you just
this dismantling Islam.
No,
Yeah.
below that is a meme. Look at the meme with
this one. Yeah,
like that puts things into perspective. Like, think about what's happening in Iran, the Iranian people right now. Read this one, Kyle.
Yeah, so while the Iranian people are risking their lives to escape Islamic tyranny, New Yorkers are welcoming it. And are they? Have these elections been stolen, or are people that retarded? I guess we're going to have to figure out how that goes. There you go. I mean, that's in a nutshell.
And what was it you were looking for? The story of what?
So there's a little kid, the kid's on the front. It was about a video game. It's in UK. It's just right here. I'll find it. Here it is. Okay. UK government video game teaches teens questioning mass immigration could make them terror suspects. This is the all-encompassing part of it too, playing on our heartstrings of that liberal mindset of where we care for our fellow man and woman. And then you get the attacked, right? That's an app thing I would call too, like the cancel culture. Oh, you're racist, this, that, whatever. Now they're literally programming the children as you're going to be a terror suspect if, heaven forbid, you question this mass immigration. You see how this is all this mind warp, and they come after us. Mind you, none of the Americans or Europeans are aware of what's in the Quran, talking about this is like their ideology to literally infiltrate, like divide and conquer. It's like they're programmed with that from day one from these books. And that's why it's just more things that divide us, like the divided by race, divided by religion. That's a huge one. I mean, that's so ingrained in people's programming from birth, that's like, you need to do this because you're serving God or something, right? If that's just how you basically program these assets for you and your mission to bring down humanity and what's good.
Yeah.
So we got to be aware of that. We got to see the playbook.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, but again, just a reminder: try and find those 2 videos if you have a chance. Just sit back and listen closely to what that Jay Smith talks about. And he'll take you step by step, and he shows you the lies within the Quran. And actually, they even lied about Muhammad. Muhammad isn't even part of even though they're worshiping this Muhammad whatever character. He wasn't even part of the history of when the Quran was developed, and it's sickening. It really is. It's the ultimate big lie. And they've got 2 billion people on this earth who call themselves Muslims, but thank God only 15% of them are radicalized. Thank God.
All right. Well, let's close on some good news here. We got some more Q proofs, more comms from everyone. This is Jesse Waters. Watch the Waters here. This was on the 8th here, so we missed this one a few days ago. But Jesse Waters, look at the timestamp too. 17:17. We keep getting these comms, and right there at 17:17 Eastern. It says Trump is holding the line, and then only one Q post with hold the line. That's 4714. Probably many of you guys saw that. Hold the line, writers. Justice is coming, and we're all getting to that point of this precipice where we're done with this bullshit. We want justice, and sure enough, that's the Q drop. Here's some of the stuff from the Department of Labor. This one was the 10th here. Hold the line, Patriots. Our nation is worth fighting for. U.S. Department of Labor has been going off lately. They've got trust the plan, hold the line, Patriots in control. I think they did a second Patriots in control even today.
Yeah, they just dropped it on Diggers. Yeah, it's at the bottom of Diggers.
So look at that. Hold the line, Patriots. This is hold the line, writers. Justice is coming. Q. It's like an exact comm right there. Here's our Q. There's Q plus. One, our nation is worth fighting for. I mean, the comms are just unreal. Super exciting. Let's see. Wes Wexner. We'll just go over this real quick here. House Oversight Committee subpoenas Victoria's Secret billionaire Les Wexner, Epstein's top client. So all this shit's coming down the pipe, just like we've been talking about. It's coming to this massive crescendo. Here's a few Q drops with Mr. Wexner, 3366. Les Wexner, founder of Victoria's Secret. Connect the dots, Q. That's Q alerts with that. It's supposed to be a next line, connect the dots, just FYI. And let's see, where's the other one? Here's the other one. Les Wexner. Look at that. They got a different number on there, 3365. It's embedded in 3875. The wrong number. I don't know what's up with that. There's several like that. Connect the dots. And then Q's got a Twitter. Here, Epstein Wexner. The story goes much deeper, darker too in the kill box. That's deeper and darker. That's where they get all their people from, is these modeling agencies. That's where Rachel Chandler had a modeling agency. 4727. Victoria's Secret reportedly continued to work with modeling agency after it was accused of supplying underage girls to Jeffrey Epstein. And of course, we have Victoria's Secret. Y'all know what the real secret is about Victoria's Secret. Queen Victoria was a man, an ugly fucking man at that, and all the models are men, unfortunately. And I'm going to do a great video on that using the.
So you're telling me more news is unlocking the map, sir?
Yes, exactly. Not unlocking the map. Patriots in control. We're just getting more and more confirmations. And again, we were really pushed at this precipice. Again, frustrated. Boom, we got the Maduro stuff. The people in the streets is certainly annoying to have to deal with and stuff, but there's going to be something for that. Oh, I'm missing the post too where it said we stand with ICE. Is that in there, Tim? Do you remember where that one was? We stand with ICE. Let me sign. By the way, we did our second Attune to You on Saturday. Many of you guys were there. Thank you. We had Jay Rosemary and Sunny on, and Brian from I Am Rising, and
Brian and Jamie.
Yeah, that was super cool. So make sure you have notifications on, because we might pop on at any time. It was kind of unexpected, but we were inspired.
I have a hard time getting on through Rumble too. I was signing in, and it took me about 10 minutes to get logged in. Oh, yeah,
Rumble's been having a little issues. It seems like interesting. Here's some crazy tunes. I'm not even gonna get into that. You guys have all seen that, but these are good videos to exploit. Like, you don't even have, because here's the other thing I was seeing that was frustrating too, is like seeing other people posting, like going full retard on this whole shooting thing. That there's all this curated content, like they're doing just deceptive videos, and these people think they're great, doing these great analysis, and there's this like subtle deception and shit. And it's like, it makes me think of the 1984 book quote, they told you what your eyes and your ears heard wasn't true. Basically, I'm, butchering the paraphrase here, but that makes it totally it, and yeah, we could argue the lady turned this way or that, but the cop is literally leaning into the vehicle. Again, the one shot comes through the windshield. And again, he's in the one they said that's sped up. If you see it, there's impact. And even the whole thing. Why are you involved with impeding law enforcement officers, federal agents, conducting lawful procedures, which is removing pedophiles, violent offenders, all these other things that you can name up, and they're actually doing it. And another thing that should annoy people or upset people, the lady's got her dog in the car with her doing all this shit too, right? So you're like, and how are you?
And her child at school. So
yeah, a child at school and a dog in the car. How are you even able to do this, like, without a job? Well, maybe it's going to be something like this, and who's going to be accountable and who's going to be liable now if there's a murder? So here it is from Josh Dunlap. The No Kings financial records have been released, and here are the top financiers. We covered this a little bit already. Arabella, 79 million. Warren Buffett paying 16 million to the No Kings. Gotta love that shit. Ford, 51 million. Rockefeller, all your greedy psychopath assholes. Soros, Tides. I think that what's his name? Weiss, the German guy, whatever nationality is. He's I'm talking about actually MG show. Those guys did a good job
You
covering.
mean the real Nazis, the real ones, because they call us Nazis.
Weiss or whatever his name is.
The real ones.
So there's your funding and stuff too. So like, how is that lady even able to do that? Some good stuff there too, and then some other good memes. This was a good one here too. Here's just the hypocrisy of it. Democrats, no kings. Trump's a dictator. Rah rah rah. I love it. They got there in their stupid outfits. Also, Democrats, hands off Maduro, free Maduro, and like it's so pathetic. And I mean, I guess we're gonna just keep doing this and keep exposing it and making them silly. And Trump's gonna keep bringing peace on earth and peace through strength, and we're going to keep showing it. We're going to keep getting confirmations, and we know justice is coming. It's getting even closer that the fact that the U.S. Department of Labor is straight up dropping Q posts. We had the Russian ambassador to fucking Putin, he's in mainstream news channels doing interviews and stuff, straight dropping Q drops. He's showing screenshots of the Q drops. One that Tim said at exactly 11:11 Alaska time on when Trump and Putin were meeting, and the B-2 bomber flew over the top of those two, and then me next. So fuck, it's a wild ride. It's been a long journey, but the justice is coming. We got the enemy fully in our sights, and it's just got to.
Well, today was a good start with that grand jury impaneled in Florida. Bringing down CrowdStrike, the whole crew that we read on the Q drops earlier, and then tomorrow you got Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton the next day. So we'll have to see how the next couple of days unfold, sir.
And just going to briefly touch on Iran. We'll cover this more the next week or so too. But here's a New York Post: Trump to Iranian people, got your back. U.S. making attack plans. 200 protesters fear dead. Wait till you see these Q drops. Talk about future proofs past. Should blow your mind if you haven't already known how amazing the Q drops are. But Q drop 1604. We stand. This is from 2018, guys. 117 on the timestamp too. 45. We stand with the good people of Iran who are currently battling their installed regime for freedom.
Regime. You got to learn that word. Regime.
Installed regime for freedom. Thank you, brother. True rule. The people have the power. Rise up and demand they be removed. At some point, military generals will act with the will of the people simply because their soldiers are those same people and have no choice. We stand with you. We are monitoring the situation closely. Stay safe. God bless. So that's one of the Q drops with Iran. And it makes me, I'm hopeful because, again, there's something happening. We got the blackout with the internet. I'm hopeful this stuff already played out, and this is just the movie part, but this could be very real. And there's another great example. Here we are, the leftards, defending this libtard who's interfering with federal agents and gets murdered, unfortunately killed because she was put another officer's life in danger, and he had self-defense. She dies, and now they're crying a river over this one person who put themselves in danger because their radical ideology, and an entire country of people is trying to overthrow this regime that is not even legitimate, and they're fucking they don't pretend it doesn't exist, or they don't even look at it. It's so absurd. From an actual communist dictator, freaking unlawful person. He lost the election, just said, fuck you people. That's exactly what a dictator is. If you don't want that, you'd be excited. But if you're fucking radicalized and don't even know what you stand for, then you'd be retarded and be like, oh, now I'm mad at Trump still for, I don't know, what am I supposed to be mad about? It's just ridiculous. We understand the situation here. Q drop 1943. Something incredible is about to happen in the kill box. Hassan Rouhani, and that's the guy who's still the whatever imperial leader there, right, Tim?
I think so.
Yep, I'm pretty sure that's the guy. And then the good people of Iran have the power. Fight for your freedom, Q. And of course, there's even a MIGA, M-I-G-A, is make Iran great again in full circle. Here we go, seeing it playing out. We're gonna we're gonna bring freedom to the whole world too. We're gonna allow each country to take their own sovereignty back, but you got to take action. You got to stand up and fight. And if y'all think you're in a tough situation in America or even Canada and such place, these people in Iran are trying to overthrow their government. They turn off the entire internet so they can't spread information and possibly just killing protesters in the streets. So if you think you got a tough situation where you are, you better stand up before it turns into fucking Iran. Just in the 1970s and 80s, Iran was beautiful. There was wealth everywhere. People could do everything. And then the transition of 30, 40 years with this Islamic Republic coming in there, it's been decimated. And that's what's going to happen if you don't stand up and fight this shit before it gets worse. It's like not dealing with an infection in the beginning. It's only going to fester. And it's been festering a long time through the United States, Europe, everywhere else. It's time to fucking stand up and fight. That's what everyone else means.
That's what I love about the timing of our show. I mean, we played the snake poem on Friday, remember? And it just out of nowhere, we just decided let's get this going. And now we're seeing this full. I mean, just I don't even know how to describe it, other than the fact that I was blown away all weekend. Like I took some time off to relax, but I was watching all of these documents, all these videos, and I was like, holy shit, man! We got to share this with our fam jam here. People need to know this stuff. I mean, not everybody's going to just go to the source, right? Yeah. So I'm glad we got a chance to showcase that today, and because it's all about learning who our enemies are, right? And the only way we can defeat our enemy is by knowing who our enemy is, based on history. Based on history. Yeah.
Full circle, know yourself and know your enemy. Yep. Check this out. I found the other thing I was looking for here. Here's that one. Same thing. Oh, this was from the White House. I thought this was the Department of Labor. So check this out here. White House. Stand with ICE. Check this out, Tim. You might not know this decode. Stand with ICE. I want every ICE officer to know that their president, vice president, the entire administration stands behind them. To the radicals assaulting them, doxing them, and threatening them, congratulations. We're going to work even harder to enforce the law. Vice President J.D. Vance, okay, from the White House. Check this out, though. Stand with ICE. We got to do at least one gematria before we close out the night. Check this out, Tim. ICE, ICE, 9 + 3 + 5 comes out to 17.
Nice.
And it reduces 17. So did they just tell us there that White House stands with 17? Stands with you?
Yeah. Ooh. Well, you saw like on Diggers. Did you see what he posted this morning with the 17 hard 17 timestamp?
Oh yeah, I think you have that one. Oh, this was a good one too. Oh, here's another one too. Praying Medic. This is a major person in the Q movement since the beginning. Honestly, right? Helped a lot of normies wake up to the Q drops.
That's where I started. I started following him right away. Yeah.
Yeah, and Trump just retruthed him or added this image there. Trump ended the Bush, Clinton, and Obama, Biden. Was it Tim? Regimes. Pretty sure he's up to the task, and Trump reposted that, and that looks like it's 88 on that one. Although 1826 is a 17, and then let's do that timestamp there. There it is right here. I'm the one who saved NATO, President DJT, and the timestamp 7:55 a.m. Also another 17. So we're still getting the comms everywhere. It's a beautiful time to be alive, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Good job. Nice show. So what are we going to go with Scotty? We'll do a little
actually, I'm going to play that beautiful video that Trinity Eagle Eyes put together. I don't know if she's watching out there. Shout out to our beautiful Anon, Trinity Eagle Eyes.
I thought you were going to open tomorrow with that one. That'd be a good one for tomorrow, because
we can do it again though too. It's so good. Unless is there a Scotty Marr that you know about already?
I haven't seen it.
I'm going to end it, and we're going to start it with this. This is our beautiful patriot, Trinity Eagle Eyes. You follow me on the social medias. It's on there too on my Instagram now. Should be on the Facebook also. Beautiful, freaking awesome. Like, wait to see these Q drops again. Many of them are coming up tomorrow. And again, we're going to have to tease the March 4th stuff more, because something I just randomly looked through there, and the drops from March 4th are special. And that's, again, the normal day of the inauguration. And of course, there'll be a 1-year delta of Trump giving his State of the Union speech, where he literally roasted the entire Democrat Party. Can't wait to listen to it again a year later to see how much he's accomplished already in that short amount of time that he said he was going to do, because he's a real leader that says something and then backs it up with his actions. The rest of these assholes we've had for decades is all fucking hot air. It's all mouth. It's all blah, blah, blah. Say one thing. I cover this policy with my voters need it now. I switch the other because I'm a fucking hypocrite and I'm controlled by my donors and the lobbyists. Just like Trump said, I hired them, not the other way around. They're not donating to me. I hire lobbyists to get the things I want done. It's not the other way around. Don't be concerned about the person who was a billionaire and then became president. Be concerned about the people that were not wealthy first, went into politics, and then all of a sudden become rich and wealthy. We want billionaires to run the country because it's a massive $1 trillion corporation. Should be common sense. I'd have to in full control, and it's exciting. You're gonna love this exit video too. Any last words?
We'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Love, love, love.
All right, guys. Love, love, love. Trinity Eagle Eyes. Here we go. Check it out, guys. Seth Rich.
Thank you all for coming.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Oh yeah, Q School. Love y'all. We'll be back tomorrow. We got lots more topics to cover. Greenland, Iran, Venezuela, plus. Come back tomorrow and tell your friends and family.